Kansas was South Florida. 2 men deep as Torres Johnson and Ian Randolph are at the goal line. And this one sails out of the end zone and will be a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the South Florida Bulls. We'll take a look at our Liberty Mutual starters here, and we begin with the signal caller as Matt Grothe, 6'2", a freshman out of Lakeland, Florida, a redshirt who is off to a great start in his first year.
He had a good week last week against UCF, got a big win there. Started off very fast, 7 of 7, starting off his offensive performance there, and I'm sure that he'd like to have that kind of a comfort level starting out again here today.
At the 20, out of the shotgun is Grothe. Little pump fake, he got hammered, and the deep ball is caught at the 49-yard line. A sensational reception by Edwards. Edwards, a sophomore from Mayo, Florida, picks up 29 yards and moves it out to the 49-yard line.
Great way to start here for the Bulls. Little pump fake right there, and he throws the ball up nicely over the top to Edwards, who lays out for it, makes a nice catch, gets behind the secondary, and they're off and going. Anthony Webb not able to keep up with him from the cornerback spot.
1st and 10. Again, they go to the airways, and the pass is complete. Good pursuit to the football that time for Kansas. Rivera, Eric Washington there in on the play. There are those linebackers. No gain on the play. And let's take a look at the rest of the Liberty Mutual starters here for the Bulls of South Florida. Up on the line is Juniors, Kamoda, as well as Walker and Dial. And the backs and receivers, Williams, you just saw Edwards make a great catch. Randolph is a deep threat. Green and Bleakley complete the core. 2nd down and 10. And out of bounds on the 45. Let's see where they mark the football as Benjamin Williams, a sophomore tailback, takes it. And we'll set you for the defense now here for the University of Kansas as the Jayhawks up front, Allen, Wilder, as well as McClinton and Como. The linebackers, the leading tackler, Rivera with 26 so far. And in the secondary for KU, Talib, Kemp, Muhammad, and Butel for the Jayhawks. 3rd and 4, pickup of 6 for Williams on that carry. Grothe. Complete right over the middle to Green, and Green is brought down at the 33-yard line where Justin Thornton makes the tackle. A 12-yard pickup here for the Bulls, and they're impressive in the early going.
Yeah, really what you're seeing is their offense. It's a spread offense. They got the one back in the backfield, and this quarterback is just operating, finding the holes in the defense. Take a look at Green here, just coming inside, working between the linebackers. Good easy throw there. They go a no-huddle system here, Bill, so everything is called at the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 at the 33 of Kansas, opening possession for South Florida. And again, the man of motion, Randolph, gets the football, and he's still breaking tackles and rolls down to near the 11-yard line, where Mike Rivera finally makes the stop for KU, a pickup of 21 yards.
Yeah, they wanted to find a way to get more opportunities, but Randolph to have the ball in his hands. The punt returner does a great job in that phase of the game, and we'll talk about that later. But watch him on the outside. He's a good guy in space, and they feel like if they get the ball in his hands, he has explosive play capability. That's just another weapon that you can use out of the backfield running the football.
Kansas defense going to have to answer the call here as South Florida rolling. 1st and 10 at the 11. And Grothe fakes the handoff, keeps the football himself, and dives just to the 10-yard line, picks up a yard, and we'll see where they spot it, maybe 2, as Como makes the stop.
You talked about KU's defense. They've done a great job against the run, especially over the last couple of years, and this year they're 14th in the nation coming into this ball game, allowing just 71 yards on the ground. But Matt Grothe, who is currently the leading rusher for this football team, using a couple other weapons here to get things going, a wide receiver and now the running back going. Doing a pretty good job of moving this ball early against KU.
Officially from the 9, 2nd down, and Grothe looking for a block, got one, leans across the 5, down near the 3-yard line, where Anthony Webb made the tackle. Now Grothe comes in averaging 4.5 yards per carry.
When they started this season, there was a 3-headed monster as a competition at quarterback, but I think it's pretty easy for them to determine that Grothe gives them the ability that they want with this offense, a guy who can throw the ball and also make some people miss on the outside. He's got good enough speed.
And it's 4th down, well, they're 3rd down and 4. And Grothe dives to near the 3-yard line.
I think it's going to be about a yard, maybe a half yard short there. Just doing the play that's very popular in college football these days, the zone read, taking that tailback across the quarterback's face out of the shotgun, and he's just reading the defensive end, and he tries to take that one straight ahead like a quarterback draw.
All right, it is now 4th down, and big decision for Jim Leavitt.
Well, no hesitation here. I think they planned and said, hey, we're going to put points on the board, not necessarily field goals, but when you get in the red area, you got to put points up there, and here's an opportunity for them to get a first down.
4th and 2.
I think they stopped him.
Kansas defense looks like it is held. We'll see how they sort it out here as South Florida moving from its own 20 inside the 5-yard line. And Jim Leavitt, standout football and baseball player, not far from here in his days in college, University of Missouri, looking on.
I think you need to get to the 1.5-yard line right there. Now, I'm not sure that ball is there. It looks like it's about at the 2-yard line, so probably going to be short here for Kansas and for South Florida. And I think the Kansas defense may have held here early in this ball game.
We'll bring out to measure. Yep. KU holds, and it'll be a 1st and 10 on the change of possession. Jim Leavitt also thinking, no, all right, we've got them backed up deep in their own territory, trying to give his club a little bowl of confidence.
Yeah, it's not a bad call there. I think it's a good call offensively if you're trying to be aggressive, and I think it's what that style of offense is. Offense coordinator Rod Smith thinking, hey, we can get this going here, get our offense going, but now KU showing the defense that they like to have and get it going again in this ball game.
Adam Barman, his first start this year, but hey, a senior. He's also thrown 16 touchdown passes in his career. He is an experienced guy, but a different type of quarterback from Mark Mangino than Kerry Meyer, who was out with the arm injury. And he hands it off on the first carry. Cornish gets the carry. Pat St. Louis makes the stop. And let's take a look at Liberty Mutual's starting lineup here on this side of the football. Offensively for the University of Kansas, with the quarterback Barman, the big fellas up front. They're paced by Whitaker and Ochoa, both honorable mention all-conference picks last year. Ochoa, captain of the team. Cornish, McAnderson, Henry, Murph, and Fine are the backs and receivers. Cornish averaging 5.9 per carry, and he got 0 on his first carry here tonight. 2nd and 10, ball on the 2-yard line. And again, tough yards for KU. McAnderson, the carry this time, the stop by Stephen Nicholas. And he picks up a few, gets out to the 6. Now defensively here for South Florida, Bowie, Cray. George gets the call in place of Richard Klebert, who is out with an injury. And on the linebackers, Nicholas, Moffitt, and Patrick St. Louis. In the secondary, keep your eye on Trey Williams. 4 interceptions already this season.
Yeah, he's around the ball a lot, Bill. He's got a lot of pass breakups as well. Allows him to call some aggressive defenses when he got cornerback play like Trey does.
3rd down and 6. Barman throws, he delivers. First down as KU goes to Derek Fine, the tight end. And he is tackled by Burnett, and that he gets 11 yards.
South Florida has a pair of cornerbacks that I think are pretty good. I think they're going to utilize them to lock up man-to-man. So I told you, Bill, before the game that I think the tight ends for Kansas are going to have to be big in this ball game. And Adam Barman finds Fine here for a first down, and a good job of waiting until he clears into space to get the football out to him. I think that Kansas is going to try to play big smash-mouth football, use multiple tight end sets in this ball game, run the ball straight at the South Florida defense.
Fine, a sophomore out of Sallisaw, Oklahoma. Let you move the chains, and they come back and throw the football again. And Carlton Williams makes the tackle after a 2-yard pickup by Cornish. Cornish getting his 7th reception of the year.
Well, the quarterback's just going to read the defense here. He's going to see that he's got man coverage on the outside. Just check it down to your running back here, Cornish underneath, and get some positive yardage there. And that's exactly what Adam Barman does. Adam's an experienced guy. The thing that they have to avoid Kansas early in this ball game, I think, is turnovers. You do not want to make mistakes, and I think that's the thing that's plagued them throughout this season.
2nd down and 8. Ball on the 19. South Florida. Good pursuit, staying with the football. And Cornish is stopped near the 18.5-yard line. May have lost a yard on the play. South Florida coming in 3-0. Win last week at Central Florida. Big game for them down there, 24-17. They've also beaten Florida International and McNeese State. Kansas on the other side let one get away. They turned it over 5 times last week in that double overtime loss to Toledo, 37-31, and wiped out some pretty good work they've done setting them up, beating Louisiana Monroe as well as Northwestern State prior to that. 3rd down and 8. Barman protection and a wide open receiver, and taking it first down to the 36-yard line. Marcus Henry, the receiver, a junior out of Lawton, Oklahoma. He came in their leading receiver yardage-wise. There is a flag on the field, though. Near the 36, Burnett made the tackle.
So at the end of the play, I believe, though, Bill, so they may get the result of the play a first down, but probably going to be 15 yards at the end of the play going backwards for Kansas.
Personal foul, and that is the case.
Now, net gain of 2 yards, but you get a fresh set of downs. So Mark Mangino not happy with the result here. Didn't see the penalty, but obviously after the catch and the tackle.
Barman played in 4 games last year, threw for 118 yards. He also ran for a score. His big year, though, was his sophomore year, where he played in the first 8 and threw for 1,427 yards and 12 touchdowns. Barman has a 1st and 10 out of the shotgun here. Deflected, nearly picked off, looking for Murph downfield. Stephen Nicholas showing up big defensively there.
Well, that's something linebackers have to do, is just kind of get in the throwing lanes of a quarterback, kind of read his eyes. And that's all Stephen Nicholas does here. Doesn't do anything really rushing-wise, but Adam Barman trying to throw it through him, and there's Kerry Meyer on the sideline. When he came out, didn't even warm up today. He's got his right shoulder injured there in last week's ball game against Toledo. And I know he's disappointed not being able to play today, but I think Mark Mangino is just trying to make sure that he's fully recovered before they put him back into a ball game.
Yeah, he's the present and the future, and he's not going to do anything to damage that. And that problem with range of motion, he could go if he absolutely had to, but long career that he's hoping to be very fruitful for him down the road. And on the 2nd and 10, nothing doing for the KU running game as Ben Moffitt stops the runner on that play. And let's take a look now at our American Century keys to the game. First of all, the Jayhawks.
I think they need to be physical. I think they need to play up front here, bring the tight ends in like I talked about, and kind of run this ball at this Bulls defense. I think they're able to do that if they can get it going. And on defense, they got to pressure and cover. They got to pressure the quarterback, and they've got to be able to cover those receivers and obviously win the turnover battle. They have not done that this year. Last week they had let that ball game get away from them because of the 5 turnovers. They can't let that happen tonight.
3rd and 10. Let's see what Barman does. He's 3 of 4 for 30 yards so far. Each team with 3 first downs in the early going. No score, 6:48 to play. First quarter here in Lawrence. Barman delivers and complete, but a yard pickup maybe as the reception is made to Dexton Fields.
Well, the ball wasn't going to be anywhere close to a first down. And talking about the turnovers here, this is what Kansas is like coming into this ball game. -7 in the turnover ratio, and that's at the bottom of the NCAA charts, folks, and that's not good for your football team. And a lot of that came last week with the 5 turnovers, but nonetheless, those are things that are not going to allow you not to win football games if that continues to occur.
Now Kansas will kick it away. Kyle Tucker averaging 38.1 per kick. Last year, an honorable mention all-conference pick, averaged just under 43. And it is taken at the 34-yard line. KU stringing it out, and good job defensively on the special teams for KU as Wright makes the tackle, and 2 yards lost on the return for South Florida. Watching our Dr. Pepper Big 12 game of the week on FSN. No score here in Lawrence. No score. Kansas and South Florida. South Florida ball, 1st and 10 from its own 38. And the ball carrier going out of bounds on the South Florida sideline. That's Amari Jackson with a tote, the junior out of Sarasota, Florida, stopped by Rivera, picks up 3 yards on the play. And here are the American Century keys for the South Florida Bulls.
Yeah, I think they do need to run the football. They've tried to do that. They've had some success early in this game against KU, and their defense, KU's, is pretty good. We're stopping the ball. And I think on defense, crowd the line of scrimmage, try to confuse Adam Barman, and also win the return game. They've got a couple of returners in this ball game that are pretty spectacular what they're able to do with the football in the kick return game.
And Grothy to throw the football, and Jackson, and it is ruled a catch as Jackson makes the reception at the 38-yard line, laying out for it. Wow.
Outstanding catch that time by Jackson. He goes up inside. He got the waggle by the quarterback. Look at Matt Grothy set his feet. Nobody in his face to throw that football. Great effort by Jackson. Comes up with it, keeps his hand underneath the football. Very clean catch.
17 yards in the pickup. This time, Hill and Green come wide to the right side. 1st and 10 at the 42 for South Florida. And the handoff, and not much doing that time on the run. And Kansas defense up to the task. A loss of a yard on the play.
Well, for South Florida, if you're going to run the ball, you're going to need to get your big tackle going. I think that Watson is back in the lineup here for South Florida after missing a couple of games. He's their best offensive lineman. He's a guy that they feel like can really dominate up there. The big fella on the left side, he's the guy that they're going to try to run behind. I think they're going to try to build this offense around him. He's a good player, a good building block, and I think they like him a lot on that front line.
Keely Dorsey got his first carry tonight on that last play. Lost a yard, makes it 2nd and 11. And this one falls incomplete for South Florida. Be 3rd and long coming up for the Bulls.
Yeah, trying a little screen here to the weak side here. Nothing going there. Good job by Kansas defense of sniffing that out and not allowing the pass completion.
Wow, they're working on the play. The Bulls are down to their 3rd tailback, if you will, because of suspension and injury. Williams getting to start tonight. And then Keely Dorsey coming on for now. 5:19 to go in the first quarter. It's 3rd and 11. No backs in the situation here. Grothy, line of scrimmage is the 43 of Kansas. Grothy steps up. Incomplete, and wait a minute. On the deflection, incomplete as it falls to the ground. And that is typical of what Kansas has had going against them this year. They play good defense, but they haven't been getting the turnover.
Well, they've tried to get around the football a lot so far this year, and they've had some opportunities, but they just cannot come up with the interceptions. Only one so far this year, and they've got one fumble recovery. And here you got a ball bouncing around there, and a couple of Jayhawks in the area, not able to find it. Talib there to make the contact first, but the ball just falls to the ground. Luckily for them, a South Florida player does not receive that football.
All right, it is 4th down, and South Florida at the 43, and 4th and 11, and they're going for it. And a quick kick, and Murphy staying on to punt, and then Kansas calling a timeout. We'll take a little break, sort it out here, and we'll have that kick if indeed that's what they do when we come back. 5:08 to go in Lawrence first quarter. No score, Kansas and South Florida.
Homeowners, want to get cash and simplify your bills? Ask about a combo loan from Countrywide. It's a refi that you could use to combine your first mortgage, your second mortgage, your car loan, and all your high-rate credit card debt into one easy loan with one low monthly payment. It could save you hundreds every month. Call America's #1 home loan lender now and ask for a combo loan. No one can do what Countrywide can. Apply now.
Call 1-800-641-9735.
Hey, look at me. Lock in. Crusher here has an extra deltoid muscle. Means he's got exponentially greater bucking propulsion. Now you lean back and you hang on. I'll be there.
New rodeo clowns are a lifesaver.
Rodeo clown? No, I'm with the birthday party. Hello, Jimmy! Oh, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
This is Casey. This is Matt. This is Meredith. This is Larry. And this is a reminder, life is wonderful. Insure it. We do every day. Find out more about life insurance and our agents at shelterinsurance.com. Shelter Insurance. Seek shelter today.
Next week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Best Damn is on the road, and we're in the Big Easy with some big guests. 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern.
No score. South Florida getting ready to kick it away here, and we'll take our insurance standings and leaders. Well, it comes down to Kansas and how tough they've been against the run in non-conference games since '04. You see the schools that are ahead of them.
Yeah, last year Kansas was pretty good. 3rd in the nation, 105 yards, only allowing 83 yards a ball game. But the also doing a good job this year, just over 70 yards a ball game allowed. So they're doing a good job against the run, as we showed our insurance leaders there.
Justin Tichy is on to punt here for South Florida.
substitution infraction on the defense. 12 men in the formation. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, you heard it because it was 4th and 11. Mangino not happy about that. Just
now they bring their offense back on, Bill. Because inside the 40-yard line, so probably a good thing here for Jim Lever with that penalty. And he's going to go ahead and play his cards here and put his offense back out there, try to pick up a first down. It's going to be like a 4th and 6 situation, I think.
And KU still shuffling defenders, so catching them off guard a little bit now. So it turns out possibly to be a huge penalty. 4th down and 6 now at the 38. Now Grothe with the punt. And it's going to be a great situation for South Florida as it goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Wow. You take the dual threat level to a 3rd level. That's a triple threat quarterback able to punt the ball out of bounds.
Kansas, South Florida, no score. 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Welcome back. Dr. Pepper, Big 12 game of the week. South Florida out of the Big East against the Big 12's Kansas Jayhawks. Bill Land, Gary Reedens, Emily Jones, the FSN crew with you. It is no score. Kansas backed up. The Jayhawks after that 33-yard punt by Grothe, taking over 1st and 10 on their own 5-yard line. That's Grothe's 2nd punt of the year. And Barman brings him out, and another slight delay here. Adam Barman, senior out of Weston, Missouri, West Platte High School. 3 of 5 to 30 yards so far throwing. Got time here, lofting it and going deep and incomplete. No flag intended for Dexton Fields.
Well, first of all, the senior quarterback, Adam Barman, gets a bull to jump into the neutral zone, so it's a free play for him. They snap the ball, going to get the encroachment on defense. So just go ahead and throw it up there. Adam Barman says, hey, let's take a shot on this.
Jenkins was the defender.
In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
You know, that's something some teams have in their playbook. You see the jump in the neutral zone, and the receiver sees that, get him going down the field, and there's a little incidental contact there, and the bull defender just falling down on his legs. Dexton Fields not able to come up with the football. Barman thought he had a reception there on that one.
Yeah, came off on him, and they may have missed one there. As Kansas, because of the penalty, it's 1st and 5, but not getting the call they wanted. Ball moved out, though, now to the 10-yard line. Barman, quick drop, and incomplete.
More Marcus Herford not on the slant pass there, not able to pull the football in. Adam Barman delivering a pretty good shot there, Tim, on the quick slant. Would have been a first down.
Intended for Herford, sophomore out of DeSoto, Texas. So 2nd down and 5 now for Kansas. First meeting between these two, South Florida and KU. South Florida goes to work in the Big East next week against Rutgers. Kansas, a huge game to open up the Big 12 up in Lincoln at Nebraska. 2nd down and 5. The keeper, Barman. Not known for the wheels, but he got the first down on that carry. Stopped by Moffitt, picks up 7.
Good job of recognition there. I think this is an option play here for Barman. You can see the defensive lineman come this way, and then Adam Barman gets in behind John Cornish. Doesn't get a block from him, but nonetheless gets a first down there. One of those plays you can drop back, and if it's there, run it. If not, just throw your normal pass.
Barman had not carried the football prior to this evening. In fact, passing just 2 of 2 for 7 yards coming in for Kerry Meyer. 1st and 10 at the 17. And Cornish. Not much doing there. Pat St. Louis, the weak side linebacker, senior out of Miami, Florida, out of Washington High, makes the tackle. First down line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Search, shop, and save up to 70% at Overstock.com.
Well, Bill, South Florida doing a pretty good job here against the run with Kansas early in this ball game. I was a little surprised. I thought that Kansas would be able to run the football effectively against this front, but credit the defensive tackles in there, Alan Cray and George Woody, who's stepping up to play inside there. They're doing a pretty good job at the point of attack, not giving any holes there for these running backs to get through.
Yeah, 6 carries, 12 yards is all for KU, and this one goes nowhere on the little shovel pass as Nicholas blows that up and a loss on the play.
I'll tell you, Stephen Nicholas from his linebacker spot, when you see you're able to fire in there and make something happen, watch Nicholas here, who comes up into the hole after he sees the recognition there. He sees where Cornish is going to get the football, and bingo, right there. Kind of spy on those backs. You see him as they come out of the backfield as a linebacker. You kind of anticipate that play. Nice play by Stephen Nicholas. Very active, one of the best linebackers in the Big East.
Butkus, award candidate, Rose Nagurski. 3rd down and 11. Barman, here they come. He steps up, dumps it off, and Cornish turns the right way and goes out near the 1st down at the 30 or the 28-yard line, and should have the 1st and 10 as Nicholas makes the tackle.
You know, these are just some of the weird senses that running backs have. They know where the guys are not. In other words, he makes a fake. John Cornish catches the football, and he could have turned left or could have turned right. He turns right and makes a play here. Watch, the defense is going to come up on him, and as he catches the football, hold it right there, and you'll see the linebacker over pursuit, take him that way, and good job of getting the 1st down. If he'd have gone the other way, he'd have been a sure tackle. He'd be tackled for a short gain.
Got the 1st down, wrapped up the football. Nice job by the senior on a New Westminster, British Columbia. 1st and 10 at the 29. And Cornish again weaving his way across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And Nicholas makes the tackle, but he picks up 7 more for the Jayhawks.
Well, here's the offensive line taking the charge here. I think this big offensive line with Ochoa at center and Whitaker, the guard, Rodriguez to tackle. These guys are big players and big bodies. You need to be able to get them going on these guys. And you see a lot of holes there for your running back to go through. It's just a matter of finding that space. And I think over time, I think they'll be able to run the football against this South Florida defense.
They average 173 yards per game on the ground, and finally starting to get it going here. 2nd down and 3. Barman throws, and it is complete to Murph, and Nicholas, like a calf rope, ties him up and sends him to the turf. He picked up a couple.
Well, you see the range that Nicholas has. He's an outside linebacker. He's a strong linebacker, going to be in and around the tackle tight end area, but he's going to get all the way outside to his left. Bingo, watch this. He's going out with the tight end and in front of him, and he's just covering him, and then he picks Murph up and doesn't allow him to get anywhere after the catch.
Brian Murph, a senior out of Howardville, Missouri, and he met Nicholas, a 2nd-team all-conference pick in their 1st year in the Big East last year for the Bulls. 3rd down and 1. At the 38, Barman, and the option pitches, and Cornish got room to roam. 45, 50, and thrown out of bounds at midfield. Danny Verpale makes the tackle, but he gets 13 yards, and most importantly, moves the chains.
Good call here on offense. Down the line, you got Nicholas, a linebacker. He takes the quarterback, bingo, right there, but nobody there for the pitch. John Cornish gets around Verpale for a big gain here. Nice job offensively. 14 yards on the Rod Smith, the offensive coordinator, called a pretty good game here so far for South Florida. Excuse me, for Kansas. That's Nick Portoro, the offensive coordinator.
Who, too, was part of that Kansas State staff that had Jim Levitt and Mark Mangino on there together. Cornish trying to find a little bit of a crease. Stumbled across and stopped near the 47, maybe 46 and a half, picks up a yard or so.
You know, and when these guys, as they prepare for conference play, one of the things they know is that the running game is important. And I think that Kansas, they hang their hat on being able to run the football and defensively stop the run. And you can get a running game going with the big offensive linemen, and you've got tailbacks and tight ends that can block. It's going to be a good opportunity for this offense to continue to move down the field.
Let's see, 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Are they going to get it off here? Doesn't look like it. That'll be the end of the 1st quarter with Kansas on its most impressive offensive work on the night as the 1st period comes to a close. Come back, they'll have it 2nd and 8 at the 46 of South Florida. No score in our Dr. Pepper Big 12 game of the week. The Bulls and the Jayhawks. Great Johnsonville Bronzo here. I mean, come on. Groceries, you're always in charge of that.
We need to do the hookup. We need to find somebody that can help us out.
All right, welcome back, folks. Bill Land along with Gary Reasons and Emily Jones. It is 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 46 as they switch ends, and Kansas with possession at the 46 of South Florida. Incomplete pass for the quarterback Barman. And Moffitt coming in his face to put the pressure on him. Gilliam covering out there in the secondary.
Yeah, one of the few times they put pressure on the quarterback. Getting back there to Barman, they've been able to run the football here on this drive, and now they decide to throw the football. That could bring up a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 situation here.
Anderson comes back on the field now for KU. Third and 8. Barman rolls out. In trouble, unloads. So a punting situation, you would think, for Kansas.
Well, one thing about South Florida's football team, Bill, on defense is they've got a lot of speed. They've got a lot of athletes on that football team, and Jim Leavitt has built his football team on that. And good job of coverage that time in the secondary, not allowing anybody to get loose for Adam Barman to throw the football to.
Yeah, they're only allowing just over 15 points a game through their first 3. And that'll bring on Kyle Tucker. 4th down and 8. Nearly got a block. High kick. Randolph stays away from it. And out of play. See where they mark it. While they do that, we'll take a Dr. Pepper game break. Let's check in with John Radigan.
All right, Bill Land, thanks much. High drama in the SEC. It goes to double overtime. Arkansas and Alabama. Mitch Mustaine hooks up with Ben Cleveland in the end zone. The extra point is good. That's significant because Lee Tiffin missed an extra point for Alabama. Arkansas survives in double OT, Bill and Gary.
Big win for Houston Nutt and those Razorbacks. SEC contest here. Big 12, Big East, no score. South Florida gets possession of the football. 1st and 10 from the 29. And they dump it off, and a 1st down on the reception as Grothe connects and Mortensen makes the tackle. Johnson with the reception of 15 yards.
Yeah, a little read out here. He's going to come in and get inside and go back outside right here. Just works away from the linebacker and gets into space. Good job of recognition by the quarterback. Throwing it outside. Matt Grothe does.
South Florida first quarter had 97 yards of offense to KU's 78. KU getting a lot of that with a running game to end on their last possession of the quarter. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 43. And Grothe going deep across the middle and incomplete. No flag is thrown. And KU fans wanting a little pushing off on the offensive end. Talib covering on the play for the Jayhawks. Intended for S.J. Green.
Now plenty of opportunity here for the quarterback to throw the football. Watch the left tackle, number 55 here. He's just going to pancake the defensive end, put him to the ground. That's what Watson does. He's a big, strong, physical guy, and the ball just overthrown here by Matt Grothe. Good coverage in the secondary by Talib. One of the better cornerbacks out there, and they're going to line him up man on the best receiver out there. He's got that kind of ability.
2nd and 10 for the freshman quarterback Grothe. 6 foot 200-pounder. He can run the football. Shows you that speed as he cuts it up to the 50 and down to the 49 of the Jayhawks, where Wilder makes the tackle. An 8-yard gain.
Well, just watch the line of scrimmage here. Who's pushing who back? And good job by South Florida securing the corner. And then that's Watson here. Good cut block on the outside, allowing Grothe to come around. You're an athletic big tackle like that. People are going to look at you and say, hey, this is a guy who can play. And Watson, number 55, doing a good job for South Florida on the outside.
Grothe's 5 of 8 in the air for 72 yards. What will he do on 3rd and 2? Timeout. Play clock winding down, and Grothe wanted to talk it over. Good call in this situation with a 3rd and short. We'll take a brief timeout as well on FSN. No score. Bulls on the move against KU.
You're watching FSN Midwest.
KU fans start young here in Lawrence, and wide-eyed now as it's 0-0. 13-19 to go, 2nd quarter. South Florida with the football, following the timeout, facing a 3rd and 2 at the Kansas 49-yard line. Matt Grothe, the quarterback. KU showing blitz. Let's see if they come through with it. Here they come after Grothe. He's in trouble, escapes one, escapes and breaks a tackle, and then the pass is deflected, intended for Marcus Edwards. Anthony Webb, a freshman out of the Dallas area, comes through to knock the football away.
Well, first of all, you want to put pressure on the quarterback in this situation. Empty backfield back here, nobody back there. He steps up and not able to elude that tackler. It does elude the tackler, but it throws into coverage there. And good job in the secondary, not allowing him to make a play. And Anthony Webb coming up with a nice tip on that throw. Kansas comes up with a big stop here on 3rd down.
Justin Tichy will do the punting here for South Florida. Sophomore from Palmetto, Florida, 5'11", 170-pounder. KU with one man deep. Steps off to the side to angle it where they've got coverage, and it is a super job, and will roll down to the 2-yard line. And Kansas going to have to operate deep in a hole once again. A 47-yard kick from Tichy.
Nice directional punting there, kind of a good spread out formation, and they actually moved all their little front protector line in front of Tichy over to the right. He sidesteps to the right, just kind of pooches one over there. Good job of getting the ball down there on this turf field here. They're going to get a good consistent bounce, and again, Kansas backed up, coming off their goal line.
And that will make it a 1st and 10 officially at the 2-yard line. Tough quarters here for Barman and crew to work out. 8 on the play clock. Hands it off, and a dive forward for Cornish. Picks up a couple. 3 yards on the play. And out to the 5-yard line. 2nd and 7 now for KU.
Well, this is where you look at your senior leadership up there with David Ochoa and Bob Whitaker up there offensive line-wise, and Travis Dombach, the right guard. You try to make a little something out of nothing here. You're backed up. You need to push some holes out there. You need to move some people out of the way so your running backs can get out of this end zone.
Play action. Barman, plenty of time. And it is complete and out of bounds as Fields takes it to near the 28-yard line. Jenkins covering on the play. A pickup of 22 yards.
Nice throw, nice execution at time on a play action pass. Everybody's inside looking for the run, trying to run off the goal line. Good job of play action by Adam Barman. See the fake here inside, holds the linebackers, and the receiver Fields gets out on a little corner route there. Good job throwing the ball outside. Kind of a zone coverage by South Florida that time.
Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 28, and a little more breathing room, a chance maybe to be a little more liberal with the playbook. Here they come. He unloads. Murph, 35, 40. Murph turning it on and rolls into the South Florida bench area at the 47-yard line, where Carlton Williams, the free safety, knocked him out. A 19-yard pickup, and once again a 1st down Kansas.
A couple of good calls here by Nick Quartor. Going to throw it outside here to Murph, who's a very good, very athletic receiver. Get the ball in his hands. He's an explosive play kind of a guy, and you get blocking out in front of him there. You see the receiver, Herford, trying to get somebody out of the way so he can keep going. You see the production so far for Brian Murph this season. Not a lot of yardage average-wise, but he's a guy they want to put the ball in his hands.
And explosive on the kick returns, too. 1st and 10, Kansas. Barman wants a timeout here for the Jayhawks now. We'll take a timeout on FSN. No score. Kansas moving the football on a drive that started on their own 2. We'll be right back. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week on FSN is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors that add up to one bold taste. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. By Johnsonville Brats, welcome to heaven on a bun. Welcome to Johnsonville. And by Overstock.com. Search, shop, and save up to 70% at Overstock.com. 1st and 10. 47-yard line for Kansas. Their own 47 against South Florida. No score, 11:52 remaining 2nd quarter here at Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Kansas. Little pump fake for Barman, and it works. Lamb is the receiver, and a flag is thrown. They created that opening by pushing off. We'll see what they call as he is knocked out of bounds at the 31. Trey Williams covering. If the play stands, it's a 22-yard pickup.
Well, at the line of scrimmage, he and Trey Williams kind of locked up, and he pushed him away, and Adam Barman was going to throw to him early. He's going to call holding here against the Bulls. So it's going to be good throw and catch here from Adam Barman. Adam Barman wanted to throw to him the whole time and just had to wait till he came over.
21 defense. The penalties decline. Play results are first down.
So Williams on the infraction.
Well, Trey Williams, one of the best cornerbacks in the Big East. And guy that they feel like they can match up out there one-on-one. He's got 4 interceptions on the year. He's got great ball skills, great ball awareness. He's a guy they asked to cover the best receiver perhaps on any football team.
1st and 10, the ball at the 31 as Kansas trying to get on the scoreboard here. Barman, deep drop, going back, and incomplete, flag thrown. It was Murph, the intended receiver. Mike Jenkins got a hand on him.
Now a little contact there as the ball's coming into his area. Contact by the defense. The ball a little bit overthrown. He impeded the runner there, so the receiver could not get to it. Quarterback on the play fake here, trying to throw it down the right hash mark. See the contact there. His right arm slows him down. The ball a little bit overthrown, but still enough there that they felt like that Murph was not able to make a play on the football.
So Kansas got the 22-yard pickup on the other pass. Now they get the penalty here. And another first down for the Jayhawks.
A couple of penalties helping them here, but still this coming off of their own 2-yard line. Pretty good drive here so far for this offense.
First and 10. Nothing doing on the ground, a yard or two. We'll see where they mark the football as clock moving. 11:29 to go, second quarter. Had St. Louis making the tackle. Nicholas also in on the play for the Bulls.
Yeah, Wally Burnham on the sideline, defensive coordinator, trying to get his defensive troops to hold down this Kansas offense. Kind of like what goes on these days in college football. Everything's called from the sidelines. Not a lot of huddles going on defensively. They're all responsible to look at the sideline and get the call.
South Florida's only been allowing 261 yards a game on the defensive side of football. And it's 2nd down and 7 at the 18 of the Bulls here for Kansas. Cornish, the handoff. Forward motion stops inside the 15 near the 13-yard line before they push him back. 5 yards on the pickup for Cornish. Last year, Cornish led him in rushing with 780 yards. Came into this game with 332.
Well, he's a guy that they want to get the ball in his hands. He's averaging almost 20 touches a ball game, 19 rushes a ball game, and a couple of receiving opportunities. And he's a guy they're going to build their offense around this year. Is going to be their main tailback in the backfield.
And he is needed more so than ever tonight with Kerry Meyer out, the dual threat quarterback. Barman primarily a thrower. Cornish get an opportunity. Flags thrown on this 3rd and 3 before it gets underway.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 65 off. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Cesar Rodriguez, junior, 6'7", 286.
We're now doing a 3rd down and 8. The ball at the 19-yard line.
Well, the left side of the line got started fast there. Rodriguez and I think Whitaker both actually jumped on that play, but the furthest one out there is Rodriguez, so they called his number.
So 3rd down and 8 now for Kansas. Ball marked at the 19. Barman. Complete. Touchdown, no, the ball popped loose and recovered in the end zone by South Florida. He was going in for the touchdown, the only one signaling TD, a Kansas lineman. It is South Florida football.
Wow, the ball was, actually the beanbag came out by the official and it was on the half-yard line. I can see it on the field there. They're talking about it. The fumble occurred before the ball crossed the plane of the end zone, so it's going to be a fumble called on the play here. South Florida football, huge play here on the throw and catch.
Marcus Henry was the receiver.
Now look on the outside here. Ball right there knocked loose.
think that was
Carlton Williams, a nickelback, cornerback.
Chris Robinson dove on the football.
Carlton Williams knocked the ball out there.
Wow, what a huge play for South Florida. Fans seeing it replayed on the big screen here, because initially KU thinking, hey, ball across the plane, did he have possession?
Yeah, I don't think
those two things happen. It's a touchdown, but I don't think that's the case.
No, they called it at about the half-yard line, and then the ball came out and went into the end zone and recovered by South Florida. So they get a fresh set of downs at the 20-yard line.
Tough break for Henry. He had a big game last week with 4 receptions, 63 yards, TD, and the loss to Toledo. And South Florida, the game scoreless, comes right back now offensively. Clinton makes the tackle.
Yeah, a couple times last week, Bill, in that game against Toledo, they put the ball on the ground inside the red area, inside the 5-yard line, and caused that ball game to be lost last week. Kansas did, and now with this turnover here, you see the turnover so far this season. Knocking on the door. You got to score to get the ball in the red area. You've got to put points on the board with a field goal or a touchdown, and Kansas not coming away empty here.
And this has been a team under Mark Mangino that's been very good in the turnover category in recent years. Sling Grothy to the ground here. Mortensen makes the tackle.
Now
the linebackers that we talked about at the beginning of the show, but these linebackers for KU have done a good job against the run. They're kind of leaders out there. Rivera doing the most tackles so far early in this season. He and Mortensen and Washington, a senior, make that core up.
Smith goes out. Williams into the backfield along with Grothy for South Florida. 3rd down and 8. Hill on the reception from Grothy. Does not get the first down, though. Is stopped at the 27, maybe 28-yard line. Picks up 6, and Eric Washington was there. So it'll be a 4th down coming up now for the Bulls.
I think Jim Levitt is ecstatic being able to get a turnover on the field here inside his own 5-yard line, and a chance to get the ball outside. Now get a chance to punt it away and hopefully flip the field here and get some good field position with the punting game.
Yeah, of course you'd love to move the football, but he really dodged a bullet there as Tichy again coming on to do the punting. Murph is the deep man for KU. Best in the Big 12, averaging 26 a kick return in this early part of the season. Makes a nice catch about the 23. Dances by a couple. Now looking for some room. In trouble. Going back the other way. Murph, the 25. And to the 30-yard line. He must have run 60, 70 yards to get about 8 or 9. Let's see what they come up with as Mopremier makes the tackle. A 47-yard punt and officially a 5-yard return. And there's a flag thrown here.
I didn't think that play could go on that long without seeing a penalty flag. That'd be having to hold your blocks a long time if you're a KU punt return
Legal
team.
block in the back, number 82 in the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the return, 1st down.
Yeah, not surprising really, because it is so difficult in that situation. Even though it was terrific effort by Murph, he battled his way, didn't get much out of it. We'll take a brief timeout. No score. Kansas and South Florida here in the Dr. Pepper.
You're watching FSN Midwest.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. No score between South Florida and Kansas, and perhaps the Bulls' most beloved former player is here. Kawika Mitchell, the starting middle linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Nice to see your former team in action so close to home.
Yeah, it's nice. Everything timed out pretty well, and it's nice to come out here and be able to watch them play, and hopefully we'll come out with a win.
You played at South Florida from '99 to '02, so you were there when they made the jump to Division I. Are you surprised at all by the strides this team has made and how quickly?
Now, Jim Levy, he's pushed for a lot of success. He likes aggressive ball, and if you're aggressive, then you got a good chance to win. And we continue to do that, and hopefully we can have some success doing it.
When you look at how far this team, it's only been around for 10 years, the program, and you're a big part of that. You're the highest draft pick, 2nd round in the '03 draft. How important is it for you, guys like you, to have success in the NFL as a recruiting tool for this program?
I like to look at the University of Miami and how everybody still keeps in touch with a lot of the former players and stuff like that. And that's what I like to do. You got to try to create a family, try to create that confidence, let everybody know that they can get to that dream that they want to. They get to the NFL. So I try to keep in touch with everybody, try to keep out there, get a good communication, and let everybody know that they can do what they want to do, and we can be a good program. So
you guys have the 49ers tomorrow. What can we expect?
A lot of success. I mean, we got to get that win. We're 0-2 right now, so we're looking for that first win.
All right, Kawika Mitchell, thanks so much for your time. We do appreciate it. Again, the Bulls' most beloved son. You should see him working the crowd over here in the visitor section. He's definitely working the crowd, and they are loving him, guys.
Thanks, Emily. It's 3rd and 2 here after Cornish and Sharp each got 4 yards apiece on the carry, and now Cornish gets the first down as he picks up 3 here. We saw Jake Sharp, the freshman from Salina, on that first carry, and he's a guy they got high hopes for, had just a sensational high school career. And Cornish comes back to pick up the first down.
Yeah, there's just power football here, trying to get that first down, get Cornish through there. Just needed a couple of yards, and he got that pretty easily. And seeing Kawika Mitchell there, good linebacker. Guy plays well in the NFL, and good to talk with him. And they're a good program here with South Florida. Jim Levitt's done a great job building that program from literally zero, to what it is today, and he's got to go in the right direction.
Doesn't have to leave the state of Florida to recruit either, with all the talent down there. 1st and 10 at the 31. Barman says, give me a timeout. Play clock coming down, and Kansas used a timeout here with 5:07 to go in this first half of play. No score. Both teams have threatened, but not been able to get into the end zone yet. We'll be back after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, only on FSN. Murph with a football here for Kansas as we bring it back to you on a 1st down and 10 situation. Picks up a yard. Bellamy makes the tackle for South Florida. And the Jayhawks will have it 2nd down and 9 with 4:48 ticking here in the 2nd quarter. Scoreless battle between South Florida and KU. Kansas coming in 2-1, South Florida 3-0.
Well, something that really hasn't happened for either team in this ball game is trying to stretch the field, get the big hit, throw the ball deep down the field and make a play. Get a couple of good secondaries here, a couple of good cornerbacks here for South Florida for sure.
The timeout situation. Barman 11 of 16 for 126 yards tonight. 2nd down and 9 here. He looks to throw it. Good protection. Now steps out of the pocket and in trouble. And he is wrapped up at the 31-yard line.
Ben Moffitt.
Moffitt making the stop, and here's John Radigan now, the Dr. Pepper game break.
Bill Land, thank you very much. OU trying to put the controversy of last week's game behind them, and they're doing well so far. Zach Latimer, check him out here with the interception return for a touchdown, times it perfectly. Adrian Peterson has 19 carries for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sooners lead the Blue Raiders 31-zip, Bill and Gary.
All right, thank you very much, John. Yeah, they certainly had the replay conversations and controversy down there in Norman, and Bob Stoops put it behind him, and they're taking it out on the Blue Raiders. Right here, neither team able to punch the end zone yet. Kansas moving it though here as Moffitt makes the tackle. 11-yard pickup for the receiver on the play, Marcus Henry. He's the one that took it into the end zone but didn't have control and turned it over last time.
Well, Marcus Henry seen him coming across the field there. Good throw from the quarterback, getting it out there to him underneath the linebackers and making a play here. Another 1st down here for Kansas.
Henry last year had 17 receptions for 183 yards, and in fact coming in 27 receptions in his career, and he had 8 already this season coming into this game. No gain on the play. Chris Robinson makes the tackle on John Cornish.
Just those short throws there, not getting a whole lot of production out of them. Here the South Florida defense kind of laying back. Stephen Nicholas, a linebacker, and others, they're just kind of trailing on these running backs coming out of the backfield. Not bad numbers for Barman coming in here. Not showing any rust from not playing.
He's
senior quarterback,
yeah. He's done a nice job. The turnover was just a good pop by South Florida in the end zone to create it. Flags are thrown here. Now, if something would happen to Barman, And Gino said we'd have to take the red shirt off of Todd Reason, the freshman from Austin, Texas.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 94 defense, contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
It's on Alan Cray. And play before this, let's take a look.
And watch the backside here of Barman here. Kind of scary thought there that he's getting hit from the back, and good job of pulling off though by the Bulls rusher.
Second down and 5 now. Line of scrimmage, the 47 of Kansas. Barman fires and complete. Fine. And he stretches it.
Well, did he catch on? He held on to that thing?
Yeah, and moves it out to the 42-yard line of South Florida. Moffitt makes the tackle, but 11 yards on the pickup and a first down, Kansas.
I didn't think it was a requirement that you had to bounce it off of both knees before you catch it, but I think that's exactly what Fine does. You see the tight end coming across the field here. See the football out there. Bounce once, bounce twice, get off the right hip, and hang in there. Wow, almost didn't pull that one in from where I'm sitting. I didn't think he caught the ball.
He had 6 receptions for 60 yards coming in. Barman, incomplete, and intended once again for Fine, coming across the middle, and that'll make it a 2nd and 10. Clock stops, 1:55 to go. First down line brought to you by Overstock.com. Whether you order a big screen TV or a comfy chair, it all ships for $2.95. Shop and save at Overstock.com.
Pretty good job here by South Florida. Not, just give them stuff in front perhaps, and not bending here, not breaking up, not giving them a big play or big opportunity here.
2nd and 10. Remember, Kansas out of timeouts now. And South Florida jumps. Flags are thrown.
70 part of the snap infraction. Number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Drew him off, and Ochoa. And it'll push KU back. Now make it 2nd and 15.
Yeah, if you're just joining us here, you got Adam Barman starting his ball game here for KU. Kerry Meyer not able to start because of the shoulder injury that he suffered last week against Toledo. See him on the sideline with the ball cap. Not going to be able to play at all today, I don't believe.
2nd and 15 for Barman and crew now. And he does complete it, but they pick up around 4, maybe 3. And going to be a 3rd and long now for Kansas.
Yeah, a lot of man coverage by South Florida, and I think these guys are doing a pretty good job of covering these KU receivers all over the field. And Fine looks like he needs some help getting off the field. Good tackle that time by the linebacker, kind of grabbed him by the legs behind. Ben Moffitt, I think, in coverage. They've been doing this work down there. You talk about PR.
Good to see. Not a lot of players, or as many as we'd like to see, are so accommodating.
Mitchell.
3rd down and 12. And it is complete as Kansas got the first down, and out of bounds as Herford stopped the clock, and that's the other thing. With no timeouts remaining. And Gilliam makes the stop, 13 yards though for Marcus Herford.
And the zone defense that time was South Florida, and Herford comes underneath. You see the linebacker's just going to get back underneath there. The inside linebacker not able to get outside and even contact Herford. He gets outside around the edge and out of bounds in a first down. Good execution that time by KU.
Herford, great athlete, played some quarterback here a little bit, wide receiver last year as well. Had 7 receptions, came in with 6 for 91 yards this season.
Yeah, I've got a sideline timeout there. I think they're going to straighten out the chains.
Gives Kansas an opportunity to gather their thoughts as well, though. With no timeouts for the Jayhawks, 1:20 to go. And that's before halftime. Well, what's coming up on the Sonic Halftime Report? John Radigan, Pat Jones, Jackie Sherrill, all the big football action. The thriller between the hedges. Oh, you got to ache Big 12 fans do for Colorado as Georgia with a wild finish there. Iowa State and Texas highlights as well, all on the Sonic Halftime Report from the studio. The Big 12 has gone over against ranked teams in the top 25 in non-conference play. Looked like Colorado was going to break that string today. Barman in trouble and coughed up the football. KU has fallen on it, it appears. So they'll maintain possession. Forcing the fumble was Alan Cray. A loss of 6 on the play.
And the clock's still running here. Kansas still has the football. Second down, but certainly going to take the loss on that play.
Yeah, inside a minute now. Barman. Complete to Murph. He's out of bounds with 46 seconds to go. Jenkins covering on the play. They pick up 4. So you're back to another third and long situation for KU.
Hurricane are outside, and they're going to stop. They did stop the clock on that going out of bounds. So KU's going to get a chance to huddle up here and get a little semblance of calling another play or two.
Where the experience of Barman should help pay off.
Probably need to get into about the 25-yard line to make an opportunity for a field goal here.
Scott Webb is the kicker. He was 0-2 this year from 27 and 48. 3rd and 11 for Kansas. Barman. He lost the football, and South Florida appears to have recovered as he was stripped of it. Knocking the football loose for the Bulls, Woody George.
Well, these things have plagued Mark Mangino's football team the last couple of weeks, and I think he's going to almost explode when he sees the tape and see how things are going. You know, putting the ball on the ground on a couple of opportunities to score, and this is one of those. That's just good contact by the defensive end and coming in and making a play on the quarterback, and a really bad ball security by Adam Barman. He had it in his body, but the big paw come in there and knocked it out.
Alan Cray came up with the recovery, I believe, as George is the one that forced it. And now South Florida has 1 timeout remaining, and the ball at the 32-yard line. We'll see what Jim Levitt decides to do. You know, you're mentioning Coach Mangino of Kansas got to be thinking, Gary, hey, let's protect the football. Let's at least get a shot at a 3-pointer, a field goal for going into the half, and at least carry a little momentum.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on the field, though. It looks like maybe they expect this to take a little television time out here in this break. They're just kind of slowing it down.
Well, we'll take a Dr. Pepper game break with John Radigan now.
All right, guys, it is Dr. Pepper game break time. It's Nebraska. It's Kenny Wilson. It's 3 yards. It's a touchdown. Marlon Lucky has already gone over the century mark for the Cornhuskers, and they're running the ball again this week, Bill and Gary, and way out in front of Troy.
Thank you, John. Brophy to throw, and he completes it out near midfield here for South Florida as Johnson, the receiver, on the play, and they'll hurry up here. Remember, 1 timeout remaining for the Bulls.
And the clock stops on the first down in college football before they get the clock set, the chain set.
Now it has started, and then Grothy quickly throws the ball down to stop the clock.
Good clock management there, getting your offense up on the line of scrimmage. Grothy stopping the clock, only 2 or 3 ticks off the clock there before when they set the football.
So they'll reset and be ready to go here. Both teams looking to their sideline for the play. Kansas not in position. Grothy ready for the snap. KU still moving. 2nd and 10 at midfield. Grothy. And he completes it to Edwards, who steps out of bounds. Good clock management for the Bulls. So they get the first down, and they're at the 38-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and 22 seconds to go.
Yeah, you can see Grothy, his eyes firmly to the left of the field, going down the field, and coming back to his short receiver on the outside. Marcus Edwards gets a good first down here for him, a good catch, and stops the clock stepping out of bounds.
1st and 10 at the 38. Grothy. Gonna run with the football, and he'll scamper out of bounds, and he does so near the first down marker as well. He's got 10, and South Florida now, after that turnover, knocking on the door.
Yeah, watch the jets that this young man has here. He takes off, gets outside, and he just kind of puts it in motor gear, overdrive, and gets that first down, steps out of bounds, as you said, Bill.
All right, you got 15 seconds. The Bulls have 1 timeout remaining.
So you can throw the ball in the middle of the field if you have a play or an opportunity to do so. Don't necessarily have to throw it on the sideline.
It's 2nd and 1 on the 29. Oh, he bobbled the snap. Grothy. it's intercepted by Talib. And yes, in play before he went out of bounds with it. So Kansas stops the drive on the turnover as Aqib Talib, a sophomore out of Richardson-Berkner High School in the Dallas suburban area, comes up with the INT.
Well, they thought he'd make a difference coming back into the lineup his first week back. Aqib Talib and does a good job on the outside. He's got good coverage position. The receiver just falls down, but Talib is just playing the football the whole way. Good job by him, and Kansas avoids even perhaps a field goal opportunity by South Florida, but still down on their own 1-yard line.
Just Kansas' second interception of the year.
Yeah, they don't even have to start to snap the ball. Is the change of possession here?
Yeah, this is a point that a lot of the coaches, I think, are in agreement that ought to be cleaned up, maybe the rule, because the half ends with the two teams not playing football. But no score. Interesting just the same in this first half of play between Kansas and South Florida, as Jim Levin and the Bulls 0-0, with Adam Barman getting the start here for KU in place of the injured Meyer. And we are zip at the half, and let's send it down to Emily Jones with Mark Mangino.
Well, Coach, the good news is your defense finally comes up with a turnover, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, it was a key situation, and we picked that turnover up. But we've turned the ball over on offense, and we can't do that. You know, we're moving the ball well on offense. I like the way our quarterback is handling the game and managing the game, but we got to hold on to the ball. That's key.
What's it going to take for your offense to get one of those explosive plays and get things going in a rhythm?
Well, I'm not necessarily sure we need explosive plays. We're having sustained drives from time to time. We're not taking care of the ball. We got to take care of the football.
Okay, Coach Mangino, we do appreciate it. Thanks so much. Again, no score here at the half between South Florida and Kansas. Time now to kick it to John Radigan in the studio with our Sonic halftime report.
I'll tell you what, he's not in midseason form with that voice yet, though. A little scratchy down there for Coach.
Well, he's coaching. That's what they do. They yell, they scream, they get him going.
And as we start the second half, this ball tails out of the end zone. Speaking of playing their tails off, and Kansas will have it 1st and 10 on their own 20. And today's stars, if you will, I thought Mark Mangino hit on the head with Barman's play.
Well, Adam Barman's done pretty well out there. 17 for 23. Good yardage there. The one turnover on the fumble, and that's the thing going against him. Matt Grophy, he's shown me he's got an ability to run the football and lead that offense. And the defensive tackles there for South Florida with their special linebacker, Stephen Nicholas.
So 1st and 10 for KU. They have the ball on their Jayhawk 20-yard line. Cornish gets the handoff, and John gets to the 21-yard line, picks up a yard, and is stopped right there, as you can tell both teams concerned that, hey, you got to protect the football, and then somebody's got to make a play and pop one into the end zone.
Oh, make a play is important. I think that Emily Jones asked Mark Mangino before that at the end of the half, what about making explosive plays and trying to make some big plays? And that's really not happened in this ball game, really, for either team. They've kind of banged away a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing really down the field. I think you got a couple of good secondaries here in this ball game. At least the corners are done a good job of coming up and making plays like this.
Whoa! Cornish is hammered on the play by Mike Jenkins, and a loss on that one of 5 yards on the reception.
Yeah, when you got cornerbacks that come up and make a hit like this, and they're running the football, it's an explosive football game. Pretty good stuff there.
All right, the junior from Bradenton, Florida, out of Southeast High School, makes the stop. Second team all-conference pick in the Big East last year, had a couple of picks. Looking for his first INT this year. 3rd down and 14 to go for Kansas. Barman, good protection and complete. Marcus Henry with a catch, turns, and gets the first down before Trey Williams stops it.
Marcus Williams is out on the outside, and he pushed Trey Williams back just a little bit. Trey Williams slipped down and was not able to close on him. On the left side of the screen here, Adam Barman's going to have his receiver down the field. You see the receiver defender slip down there, not able to make up the ground to close on the play, and he wants a call because he felt like he got pushed off on. But that's a good throw and a catch there and a first down for KU.
Good look at the junior from Lawton, Oklahoma. 3 touchdown receptions on the year. 1st and 10 for the Jayhawks. Play action. Barman again. Time going deep and looking for Murph. He was covered by Jenkins.
Yeah, that ball looked like it could have been completed if he'd thrown it on the hash mark and inside. He's trying to throw it to Murph on the outside. Ryan Murph's got plenty of speed. He's going to come down and get right here. But he just throws the ball inside and leads him a little bit. He's just throwing too much outside and deep. Could almost stick that ball on his chest with the way the route ran.
Barman, 19 of 26, 179 yards. Grothy, the freshman for South Florida, went 8 of 13, one pick, 108 yardage-wise in the first half. 2nd and 10 for Kansas. Again from the 31. Lamb is wide to the left. 3 receivers to the right. Cornish comes out of the backfield. Fields with the reception across midfield. He takes it down to the 39-yard line. Ryan Gilliam with a tackle, a 30-yard pickup.
Nice improvisation here by Adam Barman. He's actually trying to get a screen set up out here at the outside. You see that, but he doesn't nothing there and tries to look backside. But then he finds the receiver, breaks free between the linebackers. Good job of being poised and step up in there and just take what you can see as an offensive at the quarterback spot down the field. Good throw, good operation, and huge play here. That's one of those explosive plays that you need for your offense.
Fields, who had 10 grabs coming in, had 1 reception last year, but it was a 15-yarder for a touchdown against Iowa State that eventually sent the game to overtime and sent KU on to a bowl. Cornish, John fighting for every yard he can get, and George Selvey, freshman from Pensacola, Florida, makes the tackle, the end for South Florida, and no gain on the play.
South Florida trying to win that line of scrimmage, get across the line of scrimmage and make a play defensively, and they kind of might have stopped him for a loss there, Bill, but a loss of a half a yard on that play. Good penetration by the Bulls defensively.
Selvey leads his team in tackles for losses coming in with 5.5. Nice play there. And it's 2nd and 10 officially. The ball at the 38 of the Bulls, as this is the opening possession of the second half. No score, Kansas and South Florida. Sharp, the freshman. This is a guy that has phenomenal numbers. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year at Salina Central High School in Kansas with 63 touchdowns in his senior year.
Just add those up on a per-game average. Play 10 games, that's over 9 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, he's a guy that's 6,524 yards in his career and also had a state title to boot.
Good job of running the football. He's got speed, he's elusiveness, and got some elusiveness back there. And give him a chance to spot in there and give Cornish a break.
3rd down and 8. Incomplete, intended for Fine, and there's the flag. See Moffitt covering on the play.
Yeah, Moffitt did a good job of covering the tight end in the first half and knocked a ball away or 2 balls away in the first half, but right there just pulling on the legs and the back legs of the tight end. See there the left arm coming around. It's a good coverage position. You just don't need to grab it.
It will be a Jayhawks first down.
11:07 to go, 3rd quarter, and Adam Barman. Take a look.
It's a good situation, I think, for Mark Mangino. You got a quarterback injured, you get your starter who's a freshman injured. You roll your number 2 out there, and he's not a bad hand. You got a senior quarterback that you can rely on, and he's played pretty well in this ball game.
Now, Coach Mangino saying his flag's thrown here before the game that just looking for stability in the quarterback situation, and they have not had it most of the time that he's been here, and this is his 5th year, whether it be to lack of steady performance or injuries.
False start, number 69, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, and really ever since Adam Barman has been here and when he's played, he's always kind of been looking over his shoulder a little bit. We talked about this before the ball game, that, you know, tonight this is an opportunity for him to really just go out there and play and have fun and not worry about what happens, because the guys that are behind him, it's not Kerry Meyer, he's not going to be able to play. It's a couple of freshmen, Todd Reese, we talked about him, and possibly Tyler Lawrence, a lefty, really, but neither of them any experience in the college game. So really this is a game for Adam Barman to go out and just kind of hang loose and do his thing.
And he does to Murph, and he escapes one tackler, 25 down to the 20-yard line. And the change will move again for the Jayhawks. Stephen Nicholas makes the tackle, 20 yards on the pickup. As Barman hooks up with Murph, the senior from Howardville, Missouri.
Well, that's what you want from a receiver, a guy who can catch the football, break a tackle, and make some yards after the catch. Good job by Murph. He's a good punt returner. He's good in the open field. Get the ball in his hands, and he's going to make the yards for you.
Kansas 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. So they've gone from 20 to 20, and this has been the problem for both teams in this game tonight. They've shown the toughness to get out of their own end, but have yet to do successful things in the red zone. And a handoff, a few yards down about the 17. And let's check in with John Radigan for Dr. Pepper Game Break.
Number 95.
All right, Bill, thank you. Notre Dame trying to avoid a 2-game losing streak, this time in East Lansing, playing the Spartans, who show a little trickery. Drew Stanton to Javon Ringer to a wide-open Matt Trannon for a touchdown. 17-0 Spartans over the Irish.
Thank you, John. And right here, no score. But Kansas driving. A 2nd down and 7 for the Jayhawks. And Barman to Cornish, and looking upfield, he doesn't make the catch.
A little zone blitz that time by South Florida, trying to bring some different defenders inside and put pressure on the quarterback. And that was well defensed all the way around, even on the outside. If Cornish had caught that football, wasn't anywhere to go with it. Jim Levitt, a defensive-minded coach, as a head coach.
All right, KU 3rd and 7 here from the 17. They're in field goal range. Cornish says, forget it. To the 5, touchdown, but a flag is thrown. A flag is thrown near the 15-yard line. I think it's coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold here against Kansas on the outside, and John Cornish cut back across the grain here again on this delay.
Holding. Number 74 offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Replay 3rd down.
It's Ochoa. Rare for the senior captain to make that mistake.
And he's just trying to make a play here. Watching the middle of your screen, number 74, Ochoa. He see the defender coming up the field and got a good inside grip there, but get out of those grips. So it's probably okay if the play was going to his right as it started, but as it came back across, that's where the infraction occurred.
So 3rd down and not 7, but about 15 here, and the little shovel pass. Cornish. Wow. Hit hard. Got back to about the 19. Field goal opportunity. Nicholas makes the tackle.
Stephen Nicholas shows me he's got speed from the linebacker spot, but I think he took a shot on his leg that time. One of his defensive backs who came up and helped on the tackle probably popped him on the leg on the sideline. He's slow getting up. But watch the closing speed from this linebacker. He's going to run right here, folks, and make this play. John Cornish, he's a fast back, and Stephen Nicholas says, hey, you're not going anywhere.
Well, it should be a 37-yard field goal as Nicholas is helped up. Certainly South Florida needs that fellow on the floor, on the field, I should say, as KU on a 4th and 10 is going to have the ball at the 20, so there'll be a 37-yard field goal attempt for Scott Webb, a junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that great Union High School program down there. Last year had a sensational year, 14 of 19 field goals. This year he's 0 of 2. He's missed from 27 and from 48. He's trying here from 37 yards out. The holder is Jonathan Lamb, senior from Lenexa, Kansas. They're just trying to break this scoreless tie. High enough, long enough, and good enough for 3. And Kansas is on the board against South Florida. So Webb with a 37-yard field goal for the Kansas Jayhawks. Watch it. And Webb kicks it off for Kansas. The 15 to the 20, 30, 40, and still going forward. Quite a return that time by Torres Johnson, the sophomore, 40 yards. And good field position for South Florida on their first position. And Webb, the kicker, made the tackle on that play, I believe.
Initial scoring drive here. Good job by Martin Mangino's football team. 11 plays, 60 yards, and resulting in a field goal, getting some points on the board. And good way to start the second half. And now South Florida with their first opportunity here. Good field position to start with at the 42-yard line.
Dorsey, freshman with a flag thrown, goes to the 45-yard line, picked up 3.
You got 2 flags on the play. One is going to be a neutral zone infraction, I believe, on the defense, and then you've got the line judge on the outside throwing a flag as well.
Offside. Number 93 defense. In the neutral zone at the snap. Replay first down.
Junior James McClinton, the offender out of Garland, Texas. Kansas defense in the first half just giving up 166 yards.
And that's Kansas' 7th penalty of the ball game, Bill.
And that has not been a problem so far this season. They've played average just 4+ penalties a game for 44 yards. South Florida came in averaging 74 yards a game in penalties. This ball thrown and is out of bounds.
Pass is not out of bounds.
Talib covering on the play.
I like what I see in this quarterback. Matt Grothe does a good job of running the offense. He's got good wheels. He can move the ball with his feet. He's got a good lively arm too. So just a young guy out there, just a freshman. And obviously doing some good things here for this football team. Got him in here 3-0.
Redshirted last year after a phenomenal high school career. Hands the football off here. Dorsey again gets his 3rd carry of the night, and he goes to the 48 of Kansas before Mike Rivera makes the tackle, picks up 5 on the play.
And give a first down as well.
That's all they needed, and that'll move the chains for the Bulls. So let's see if they can answer after KU takes the opening drive of the second half, and from their own 20 to the opponent's 20, and gets a 37-yard field goal.
No huddle spread offense.
1st and 10 at the 47. And Grothe faked the handoff, kept the football, breaks 2 tackles, and Grothe, he's showing some strength and toughness as he takes it to inside the 40, where Jerome Kemp, the strong safety, makes the tackle. 8 hard-earned yards.
Well, he gets in behind his big offensive lineman and just kind of hides a little bit sometimes, can't see him, and just keep those legs turning, just fighting through a hole. A little misdirection that time, bringing your receiver around Randolph, taking the handoff to him and getting going inside.
Senior high school, he ran for 1,250 yards and 15 scores. He threw for 2,700 yards and 33 touchdowns. Pressure, and they get to him, and a loss on the play as Paul Como gets the sack of Grothe.
2 receivers out in the pattern, and a good job by KU defensively of not allowing either of those guys to get open. He's got time to throw the football, but good coverage, so he steps up, and Como gets the sack here.
3rd down and 6.
Good coverage sack there by KU.
So the defense answers, and now it is 3rd down and 6. The ball at the 43-yard line. Out of the shotgun. KU crowd getting after it. They set a record for season tickets this year. They've had 44,000 and 45,000 in their first couple of home games. And a timeout is called here by South Florida. So with a key 3rd down coming up midway through the 3rd period. We'll take a break as well. 3-0 Kansas.
You're watching FSN Midwest.
Next week, College Football Saturday returns. Triple header coming your direction. A couple out of the Big 12 as well as a Pac-10 battle. Colorado, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, and then, of course, Stanford, UCLA. It all begins Saturday, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, only on FSN. Grothe has his club with a 3rd and 6 crowd roaring. They're on the 43 of Kansas, trailing 3-0 mid-3rd quarter. KU showing blitz, and they're coming. Grothe got hammered, but he got it, and he completed it. And a first down, it appears, as Talib made the tackle on Edwards. And boy, how Grothe hung in there and how Edwards hung on.
Hey, I think you got Como right in his face right there, and good job by him getting the ball to Edwards, who hangs on pretty well. Take a look here and see what he's looking at. He's going to get a shot. He knows he's going to get hit, but delivers a football just over the first down yardage.
Nice pitch and catch, and the sophomore from Mayo, Florida, out of Lafayette High School, Marcus Edwards, with a great reception. And it sets up the Bulls' 1st and 10 at the 37. Grothe takes it forward. No sliding for this guy as he goes head first as Rivera makes the tackle, picks up 4.
You see Jerome Kemp there, the strong safety. He's coming downhill in a hurry to try to hit that quarterback. It's just a little play inside. It's kind of a quarterback draw after he fakes it. Grothy showing that he has the ability to run. He's a tough kid out there. His numbers on the night. Even the rushing yards are 36 yards on the ground. Pretty good job.
He's carried it 10 times. He carried it 21 for 82 yards, his most rushes and most yards rushing. 21 carries against Central Florida, 82 yards rushing against Florida International. This one is a handoff and down to the 28-yard line as Benjamin Williams, a sophomore from Lake Wales, Florida, and Eric Washington, the tackler for Kansas.
The running game for Jim Leavitt has not really been there with his running backs. It's been mostly his quarterback getting the job done over the last couple of weeks. 150 yards rushing for Matt Grothy in those 2 games. Tonight here, he's doing the bulk of the load of running the ball on the ground himself and not getting a lot of help from his tailbacks.
And it's a 3rd and 1. He is 9 of 15 for 114 yards in the air. Has had one picked off. It's near the end of the half. Got time here. Fires complete and will move the chains again. Anthony Webb makes the tackle, and again that is Marcus Edwards. He picks up 5 and a first down, South Florida.
Yeah, moving the ball here, doing a good job with it. Talk about the rushing yardage. Matt Grothy, 10 attempts now, 36 yards rushing the football. And the running back with the most attempts, and behind him has only got 2 carries in this ball game. That's Williams.
Now, 5 other players have carried the football other than Grothy. And they don't add up to 10 that he has targeted. 1st and 10. Nothing doing for Kelsey Dorsey as Como makes the tackle, the defensive end. Dana Point, California.
He's a pretty good hand. He does a pretty good job off the edge. He's got good speed around the edge, and they like his pass rushing ability.
And you liked his haircut yesterday in practice when you saw him come out.
His hair was flowing. You know, the guys didn't have their helmets on. They're all just got their best dress going out there. We've got a few guys out there with some pretty good Goldilocks.
Love those locks, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2nd down and 11. Don't know how you play with it, though. You'd think you'd be getting them ripped off. Here's Grothy. Incomplete, looking for Edwards on the inside cut.
I don't know what Grothy was seeing there. I think he threw the ball behind his receiver, Edwards.
Edwards, our leader tonight, 4 receptions for 52 yards.
Another big 3rd down here for South Florida. 11 yards to go here.
Yeah, if you're thinking field goal, they're at the 24, so it would be a 44-yarder. A 41-yarder, I should say. 3rd and 11. And he does complete it at the 20, the 15. And Bleakley, the tight end, is tackled by Como. Very close. Let's see where they spot the football as far as the first down. Looks like he's got it.
I think it's going to be just across the, looks like the 13-yard line. Good job there coming to the outside. He moves right there, and when the ball's spotted, and I think we have to measure this one. It's so far across the field.
Nice second effort for the senior out of Crystal River, Florida, Will Bleakley.
Interesting call here for this short. What does Jim Leavitt do here? Does he go for the field goal to tie the football game, or would he try to get a first down and continue to possibly get a touchdown and get up in this game?
And he went for that 4th down on the first possession tonight, I believe it was. Did not get it.
At the first.
He was down inside the Kansas 5. You know, at that point, you're thinking, hey, it's early. Yeah. Well, now we're sitting here with a 3-0 football game. And they don't have that decision at this point, though. Chains are moved, and it's 1st and 10 at the 13 for the Bulls. They are down 3-0. Kansas on its opening drive, if you missed it, got a 37-yard field goal from Scott Webb to start the second half. 4:04 to go, 3rd quarter. Grothy under center this time. Williams is the tailback. Looks for the bench area, changing the play. Play clock at 7. Grothy keeping the football. kept his balance. Looked like he was going down near the 12, but he got across the 10 and down near the 7-yard line. Eric Washington there. He picks up 6.
I like the play call there. Rod Smith, the offensive coordinator, giving his quarterback a chance to use his ability. The ball's on the near hash mark. He's got the full half of the field to go opposite, to run that option down the line of scrimmage. And you got to rely on him to make decisions, to pop up in the right hole and get good positive yardage. He did there. It picks up almost 6, as you said, Bill.
Lake Gibson High School, Lakeland, Florida. Redshirt freshman Matt Grothy's got him on the move. 2nd down and 4 from the 7. Grothy again keeps it. He scores. Touchdown, South Florida.
And the ball crossed the plane to the goal line even before any ball came out of his possession. So it's a touchdown here for South Florida. The Bulls get on the board. Jim Levitt's quarterback there, Matt Grothy, doing a nice job of running this offense. Just a freshman quarterback running the ball well. We talked about his rushing, and on tonight, Matt Grothy 11 carries, now 42 yards and a score. So good job of moving things down the line of scrimmage and get the ball in the end zone here.
So both teams score on their opening drives in the second half after nothing on the scoreboard in the first half. And South Florida now a chance to make it 7-3. Grothy with the TD, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. And here is Benzer for the point after attempt. And Mike, a freshman, is now 12 of 12 on the year. 7-3 South Florida. We'll be back after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottlers. South Florida leads at 7-3 in our Michelin scoring drive. 13 plays, 59 yards. They got that nice kick return to set them up. And Grothy, yeah, he has been the offensive story tonight.
Yeah, pretty good production there. 179 yards, a total of USF's 219 yards with Matt Grothy at the helm. And we talked to Jim Levitt yesterday. He said, hey, he's a perfect kid. He's a great kid, very disciplined, and they like what he does at that quarterback spot.
And Tichy with the kickoff. Herford with a return from the 1. Herford spins and across the 20. Flag is thrown.
There is a late flag.
After the play was over, personal foul. 40 on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down, Kansas.
All right, that'll set KU up. Well, a guy who set KU up for many years, broadcaster Max Falkenstein, his 1st-year retirement after 60 years, I think, at the booth, standing by with Emily Jones.
That's right, Bill. If you don't recognize his face, you will surely recognize his voice. 60 years as the voice of the Kansas football program and the men's basketball program. This is your 1st season out of the booth in 60 years. Do you even know what to do with yourself, Max?
No, I don't, Emily. I'm just wandering around trying to find my spot, my space.
Can you believe that 60 years, for 60 years, this is what you did and you were the voice of this university?
Well, I can believe it because I know it happened, but at the beginning, you know, I never had any idea that it would last that long. But it was a great run. I made so many wonderful friendships, and I will always treasure those.
You had Wilt Chamberlain come through here, Gail Sayers. You witnessed some great athletes. I can't even believe I'm asking this question because I'm sure the answer is going to be too difficult for you. But is there one moment that sticks out?
One moment? Well, probably winning the 2 national basketball championships. Those were the greatest moments. But we've been to the Orange Bowl twice in football. A lot of great memories there. Bobby Douglas, as you mentioned, Gail Sayers, people like that follow those. Right behind me, Kerwin Bell is sitting, who was a great runner for KU. So I got a lot of wonderful memories, wonderful friends.
Any regrets about hanging it up maybe too soon?
Oh, I don't think so. You know, I'm kind of lost right now, but there comes a time when you have to say, that's long enough. Let's put a 30 on it.
Well, judging by your answers, you sound like you could still do it, and maybe even a little television in there as well.
Well, I've done some of both, but I don't think it's going to happen, but thanks for the invitation anyway.
Absolutely. We'll keep you on speed dial just in case something happens. We need you to pinch hit for us.
Good deal, Emily. Thanks.
Guys, we do appreciate it. Max Falkenstein, guys, a true legend here in Lawrence.
Thank you much. 3rd and 6, and Murph takes the deep pass from Barman and goes deep into South Florida territory at the 31-yard line. 28 yards on the play. Verpale was the receiver, the defender, beating on the play.
Yeah, look at the protection he has. Gets a good shot right over the linebacker. Stephen Nicholas can't get a hand on it in front of Verpale. Good job by Adam Barman slided in there to Murph. It's a big explosive play. It's what you like to see in your passing game on a long yardage situation.
Good to see Max Falkenstein. Guy was tremendous, and did games with Wilt Chamberlain, did them with Gale Sayers. He'd seen it all literally here in Kansas. And the Jayhawks trying to entertain here with Cornish. And Cornish, a bruising run, still hanging on, and he will move the chains here as Stephen Nicholas makes the tackle, but a 13-yard gain for John Cornish, the senior Canadian.
They get the passing game going. That's going to open up the running game, kind of vice versa here. Good job by Cornish, who just kind of picking his way on the draw play and gets on the outside, and kind of a physical guy himself. He's got good upper body, good strength.
What's going on? Nobody could do anything in the first half. Nobody could stop anybody in the second half.
Well, it's those halftime adjustments, Bill. They did some things at halftime. Talk to the offense. He must not have forgot to talk to the defense.
Message has gotten home to the O, though. 1st and 10 on the 18. This is Kansas' second drive. 1:07 to go in the third quarter. Both teams scoring on their first opportunities in this quarter. Barman to Herford, and a flag incomplete.
It's incomplete, but there is a 6 on the field.
Well, Ryan Gilliam out there in coverage. They're going to be pass interference against the defense here. One-on-one coverage. Barman's got him, trying to lay it up there to him, and saw the right arm go up there. Definitely pass interference. Good call by the official.
Kansas has had 7 different receivers catch the football tonight in Barman's.
15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, automatic first down.
Barman's 24 completions. He has spread it around. Murph and Cornish have 6 grabs each. Cornish, their leading rusher, with 16 carries for 60 yards. As Mark Mangino looks on here, his club now 1st and goal to go from the 3-yard line following the pass interference call. Cornish lines up in the backfield. Murph to the right. Cornish. It's the call and the stop by Alan Cray of the Bulls.
Trying to pound it away in there, get it inside. The offensive linemen have to move out those big defenders. Take a look at the line of scrimmage. Who's going to win here? Penetration there by the linebackers, coming around and scraping on the defensive tackle. Good tackle in the hole.
Murph comes out. Henry comes out. McAnderson comes in. He's the fullback in the eye. Cornish. And he is still on his feet, stretching to try to get back to the line of scrimmage there before Pat St. Louis finally brought him down.
Good job of playing on the inside out. Pat St. Louis making a play here on Cornish on the outside.
That's going to end the third quarter.
A little option pat back there to Cornish. Can't get into the end zone.
So Kansas, when we come back, we'll have it 3rd down and goal from the 2. It's South Florida leading 7-3. South Florida as we go to the 4th quarter, and the Kansas Jayhawks are knocking on the door again. That 3rd quarter, South Florida had 1 possession, scored a touchdown. KU had the first possession, scored a field goal. Then after the South Florida touchdown, this is that next possession, and they have it 2nd with a 3rd and goal from the 2. Barman on the option. Cornish. And he strolls into the end zone, and KU takes the lead again. John Cornish gets his 2nd touchdown of the season on the ground. First play of the 4th quarter.
Well designed, well executed here. You see the blocking out front? They win the corner. Watch this. Little physical getting into the end zone himself.
And now Webb for the point after, and Webb is 13 of 13 in extra points this year. And Scott drills this one. So Kansas immediately answers. Cornish gets the TD, Webb the PAT, and now it's KU 10, South Florida 7.
Right back down the field they marched, and they did a good job answering the touchdown that USF put up on the board.
give us our game summary here, as we've had 2 different games, Gary. Grothy has been the offensive story on the USF side of things. You see KU's dominated the time of possession.
Yeah, first half turnovers didn't allow either team to score, and now here in the second half, Grothy's done a good job moving the football with his football team when he's been out there. He's only been out there once, so now time of possession obviously key here for Kansas, moving the football and getting a couple scores here and getting up in this ball game.
Michelin scoring drive. It was capped off by Cornish with the 2-yard run, and Cornish now with 63 yards rushing on the night, and that 30 yards of penalty certainly gave KU a bit of a boost as well. And the 15-yard personal foul penalty assessed, and now they'll kick it off as Webb let it go out of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Bulls will have the football now. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Let's see how they answer on their second possession. First down line is brought to you by Overstock.com with live customer service and online price guarantee. Shopping online has never been easier. Overstock.com. So what's Jim Levitt come back with, Gary? More of the Grothy show?
I think you stick with what you got going. Grothy's done a good job of running the option down the line of scrimmage, finding holes there, and throwing the ball effectively as well. Hasn't made any mistakes there.
He's 11 of 18 in the air, 130 yards. And rushing the football, he's 12 carries for 40 yards in the net category. Incomplete, intended for Johnson, went off the hands of Torres, a sophomore out of Cape Coral, Florida. Came in their leading receiver per catch with 16.2 yards. And the Bulls, here's been their story. They've been outscored opponents 72-17 in the second half.
Very good. And you see the 10 points put up by Kansas. Those are included. So they've only allowed 7 points in the second half this season up until tonight.
Second down and 10. Washington makes the tackle on the play. Amari Jackson, the receiver, and 4 yards on the play.
Big third down here. Now a chance for Kansas defense to kind of answer what the offense has come out and done. Done a good job moving the football. Now the chance to stop South Florida here on a 3rd and 6.
Third down and 6. Grothy. Got Williams beside him in the backfield. Amphill to the right side, a couple to the left. And it is complete. And let's see, I think they're going to give him the first down on the spot as Ian Randolph made the reception. Blake Butel, the tackler, a junior out of Topeka from Hayden High School, just down the road here from Lawrence.
Watch the offensive line. Good job of picking up the pressure inside there, and then the quarterback delivers to Randolph past the 30-yard line for the first down. Good execution there by the Bulls.
Randolph, who can be an explosive player, has been averaging 15.9 per reception. Got a couple of TDs. Also a TD on a punt return this season. Bulls on the 1st and 10. The handoff. Dorsey gets the carry. Rodney Allen making the tackle from the defensive end spot for Kansas.
No substitutions here in this ball game. You know, for the Bulls offensively, they keep it their spread offense out there, and it doesn't allow the Kansas defense to substitute.
Hill on the reception from Grothy. A flag is thrown. He's at the 40. He's at the 30 and pushed out of bounds.
Now we got a flag on the play. I think I have a pick called here by the back judge.
Bring it back as Amp Hill was off to the races. Be a 45-yard play if it would stand.
And it's going to be offensive pass interference. And it's coming across the middle of the field here. Just watch here. Take a look. Watch the pick right there on the linebacker. He's just trying to run a route, but nonetheless, back judge called it and said it's a pick here, not allowing him to come up and make a play on the crossing receiver.
Jim Levitt not happy at all on the call.
Well, if anything, you know, the linebacker may have contacted the receiver beyond the 5-yard line. I don't think the receiver is trying to contact the linebacker. The back judge, who's in the middle of the field back there and watching that inside of the middle of the field. Levitt wants
By the way, pardon me, Gary, with all the controversy with Oklahoma and Oregon last week, there are Big East officials here tonight as per the contract. And the replay system, though, is anchored by Big 12 officials. 2nd and 24. The ball on the 17. Grothy. Tackled just across the 20 by Eric Washington. So South Florida hurt itself with penalties. Whether you agree with the calls or not, that is a fact. They aided KU in their last drive and now takes back a huge play.
And now they've got to operate here 3rd and long. And I think the most important thing here for South Florida is don't make a mistake. Don't put the ball in the hands on a turnover here to KU. You're not going to get the first down. It's okay to get a few yards and punt the ball down the field and make your defense play and make a stand out there.
Williams, Randolph, and Green wide left. 2 other receivers to the right side. Here they come. Grothy escapes the defenders. And it is incomplete. Randolph couldn't hang on near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, would have been close to a first down. I think Randolph would have pulled that in. He probably could have got another extra yard or 2 to get that first. But good job, I think, by Grothy of getting out of the pocket and trying to find somebody down the field, and found Randolph, but just couldn't pull the ball in.
Levitt, nice effort, just didn't pull it off that time. So now they'll kick it away. Just Atici stands back on his own 6-yard line, and Jonathan Lamb is the lone receiver for Kansas. He is at the 44 of KU. Atici, line drive, low kick. South Florida bounce, and Lamb will just get away from it, and he gets a nice roll, South Florida does, as it comes to the 33-yard line. And that's where Kansas will operate. When we come back, 4th quarter action, Jayhawks lead at 10-7 over South Florida.
The week, Kansas on top of South Florida by a score of 10-7 here in the 4th quarter. The Bulls defense hanging tough, and the heart of that defense is that middle linebacker. His name is Ben Moffitt. He is a junior, and it's hard to say what's more impressive. The numbers you're looking at right now, 20 straight starts, 137 career tackles, 20 of those for loss, and 2.5 sacks, or the fact that he put up all those numbers while being married and having 2 children. To add to that, he lives 45 minutes away from campus at South Florida, so he's got to commute 45 minutes each way to school and to practice. Nonetheless, he has been a steady constant for the Bulls defense.
And right on cue, he makes the tackle.
Tell you what, five-time performer, isn't he? Just okay. Talking about me, better take care of business. Well, it is 2nd down and 6 now for Kansas. Clock moving inside 11 minutes here in the final quarter. And they have a football at the 37-yard line. And the draw. Cornish. 45, took a tackle. The 30. And John Cornish tackled by Pat St. Louis. And Cornish strolls to the 28, a 35-yard run.
Well, just great blocking all the way across the front here for Kansas on this play. Everyone is accounted for. You take a look at it and you see the hole that he comes through. You stop it right there, you can see everybody's blocked out here and in the back, and he just got to use his speed. Go ahead and let it roll. Good job by Pat St. Louis of just pursuing and making the play there, but a huge explosive running play by John Cornish.
Cornish now 20 carries, 98 yards, and KU's only touchdown tonight as well. 1st and 10 Jayhawks at the 28 of the South Florida Bulls. The handoff, and nothing doing this time as Barman gives it, and Cray comes up to lead the tackle on Cornish.
Cornish had the ball.
A little penetration that time by Big Cray, Alan Cray, 295-pound junior in there, getting back in the backfield. Just kind of crossing things up there. They're trying to pull the guard around, and just does not get around fast enough to get a hat on Alan Cray.
And the loss now, 2nd and 15, the ball at the 33. You also start thinking field goal here too, so that's a detriment for KU on that play. Barman sets, fires, and incomplete.
Right on the turf.
Let's check in with John Radigan of Dr. Pepper Game Break.
Oklahoma pouring it on. Oh, it is now 59-0 after this. A Reggie Smith 63-yard return of a punt. He does that so well. The Sooner Schooner horses got so tired they put them to bed, guys. It's 59-0.
Poor horses.
Ooh, I tell you what, hope they're in shape. The Sooner Schooner. Right here, we got a dandy going. 3rd down and 15. Kansas with the football, and Cornish spurts up the middle and gets across to the 24-yard line and gives them more of a field goal opportunity. Got 9 yards on the carry.
That delay play has worked well here for Cornish. The ability to kind of wait and see where the hole is and then stop and accelerate into it. He's got good acceleration as a tailback.
4th down and 6, and a player down for South Florida as Kansas getting ready to bring on the field goal unit. The other thing Cornish did is he set it up right in the middle of the field for the most part. Player down for South Florida is Carlton Williams. Williams making the tackle on the play. There's Cornish with 22 carries, 102 yards tonight. And Big 12 football news and notes. Colorado, ouch.
Looked like loss today.
Upset over a top 10 team like Georgia. They lose in the final minute. Missouri 4-0. Those two meet next week in a game right here on FSN. Nebraska, OU bouncing back. Tech as well. And of course our other FSN Big 12 game next week has these Jayhawks in Lincoln to face Nebraska. So here is Webb, who earlier hit on a 37-yard field goal, and he will set up for a 41-yard attempt. Lamb holding, and this kick, plenty of leg, and it is good. So KU scores again and now makes it a 13-7 game with 9:01. They wave the wheat here in Lawrence.
You're watching FSN Midwest.
Kansas by 6 over South Florida. Our Michelin scoring drive. 6 plays, 43 yards. Webb topped it off with a field goal, and Cornish doing all the work.
Yeah, 3 successive drives here for Mark Mangino's offense. They put points on the board here in the second half, and he's got to be happy about that. Not getting touchdowns, but a couple of field goals nonetheless. But still, if you're South Florida, you look at this opportunity as, you know, you're just 1 touchdown away here to tie in this ball game and the extra point and put you in the lead.
Kansas to kick it off here. Webb. And it is taken at the 2. Randolph, and he is stopped. Kansas has done a nice job on the special teams as Randolph is brought down at the 16-yard line. McAnderson makes the tackle, 13 yards on the return.
A 19-yard return. 15-yard return.
Well, we thought we were going to have the matchup of the 2 of the top freshman quarterbacks in the country, with Matt Groth being the #1 quarterback and also Kerry Meyer, the #2 quarterback, with numbers coming into this ball game. But Kerry Meyer not able to play. Adam Barman has come in and done a really nice job running this offense for Kansas, and I'm really impressed with what Matt Groth has done. See his numbers on the night and see why they're excited about him at South Florida.
1st and 10 at the 16. And it is complete. Randolph. And he is wrapped up at the 29. And a first down on a 14-yard pickup as Aqib Talib makes the tackle for KU in the secondary.
Now, this offense just spreads you out, moves people around the field, and then you just use your receiver speed. Ian Randolph, one of those guys who's fast, gets the ball in his hands, he's explosive, and just coming across the middle field. Those are hard routes to cover.
1st and 10 at the 30 for the Bulls. Jackson, the receiver, comes in to carry the football, and flag thrown as he is stopped near the 39-yard line, shy of the first down. 9 yards of the play. Anthony Webb and Washington are also, Eric Washington, I should say, also there.
And leave the chop block here against the offense.
Jim Levitt seeing his club again with a penalty hurting him.
Now watch the top side of the screen here coming from the outside, and 34 is a fullback coming on the outside.
Just joined us. All the scoring has come in the second half. We were 0-0 at the break, and KU has scored on each of its possessions. A pair of field goals sandwiched around a touchdown by Cornish. And as a result, they lead South Florida 13-7. It's 1st and 10. The ball, make it 1st and about 17. And ball carrier, nothing doing for Grothy. Rivera and Mortensen making the stop.
Now, coming into this ball game, Kansas defense has done a great job of rush against the team's run of the football. And tonight they've allowed rushing for USF. They're just over 100 yards in this ball game. Maybe lost a couple on that one, so right around the 100 mark.
They've been allowing 71. And overall, South Florida 257 yards of total offense with 7:24 to go here in the game. Grothy to keep it. Dives toward the out-of-bounds marker at the 31-yard line, and 9 yards. Webb and Washington making the tackle. The South Florida bunch had come in averaging 408 yards of total offense.
And they're doing a good job up front. They're keeping the Kansas line not able to get to him, and things kind of break down. But he's got good wheels and good vision on the outside, and he's a player. Not shying away from contact, definitely not stepping out of bounds.
Grothy, they list him at 6 foot. Some would say he's probably really 5'11". That's the only reason other big name programs probably weren't all over this guy. This guy is a sensational player in South Florida. Boy, they got to be excited to have a guy like this for 4 years. 3rd and 9. And he completes it across the middle as Torres Johnson makes the reception. 1st down, South Florida at the 46-yard line, and Justin Thornton made the tackle.
Well, what you like about the young man is his poise. He audibles at the line of scrimmage. You get pressure in front of him here and makes enough space to where he can get a crossing receiver and complete that pass. Excellent job by Matt Grothy at the quarterback spot, and just a young guy out there and moving his team pretty well.
Rivera put the pressure on him. 15 yards of the pickup, and it's a 1st and 10 South Florida. Smith, the ball carrier, and still fighting. No whistle yet. Loose football. Kansas comes up with it, and it is KU ball. Paul Como with a fumble recovery for the Jayhawks, and how excited are they?
Well, they hadn't had a lot of turnovers coming into this ball game, but we talked to their staff about what are they going to do to try to create some big plays, and they said they really didn't do a whole lot different, but they said they let the whistle in practice. They didn't blow it very fast, and you see the ball pulled out there. Good job by the defense there, making a play, pulling the ball out from the running back. That's Paul Como pulling the ball out, and he pulled in as well. He gets the fumble as well, so causes a fumble and gets the fumble recovery. That's a double dip there for all Paul.
So KU takes over, and Cornish. And you know, at that point, he started to head outside. I said, no, you don't need to go out of bounds now. 6:24 to go. You're up 13-7. Kansas would like, of course, to chew as much clock as they can and punch it in for what would be or appear to be a clinching touchdown.
Yeah, a scoring opportunity here. You got good field position. You want to move the ball down, at least get into field goal range and possibly put points up there or even a touchdown, and that would really help this ball game and this cause. Obviously could possibly chew some clock up in the process.
Well, KU was 116th in the country in turnover margin, minus 2.3 coming in here. They got an interception to stop a South Florida drive at the end of the half. Now they get a fumble recovery, and now they move the football. Close to the 1st down on the reception is Marcus Henry. Burnett makes the stop. He got 6 on the play. And a third and short coming up for the Jayhawks. First down line is brought to you by Overstock.com, an online source for savings on everything from video games to big screen TVs. Third and 2.
If you're on the defensive side of the ball for South Florida, Wally Barnum, the defense coordinator, said, hey, this might be their ball game right here. This is a huge down for them. They need to stop Kansas.
Cornish. And they do. Cornish is stopped at the 36-yard line, needs another yard. And Ben Moffitt leading the way, the linebacker.
Now a call
for the Bulls.
Yeah, Mark Mangino. What are you going to do offensively here? Are you going to go for it on fourth down, or are you going to punt the ball down there, or are you going to try a long field goal? It'll be about a 55-yarder. I don't know if they've got anybody on the team with that kind of a leg. So he's going to take the time out and think about it here.
Yeah, Webb had missed his first 2 this year. Tonight he's hit from 37 and 41.
He's going to let the clock run down here. The clock is still running, so he's going to take all the ticks off that he can, and then he's going to call the timeout.
All right. As the coach ponders it, we'll take a break with Kansas clinging to a 13-7 lead late in the fourth. On a 4th down and 2.
You know, Mark Mangino deciding not to go for the first down and try to use his defense and pin South Florida back, but that ball sails into the end zone. So not able to pin him back inside the 20-yard line.
Kyle Tucker, the junior kicker out of Katy, Texas, and he had punted 7 inside the 20 coming into this game. That's the first time they've punted in this half. And instead, they'll go to the 20-yard line.
And Mark Mangino talking to him on the sideline. I can see him from where I'm sitting and not happy about Tucker and what he's doing. He says, all I want you to do is kick it out of bounds, and kicked it into the end zone.
And Tucker himself, the story in the paper was reading, said he overall has had a great year, but he shanked one against Toledo in a costly situation in that game last weekend. And he said, hey, all I do is punt. I should be good every time.
And now you got South Florida got to go the length of the field here, 80 yards to get a touchdown.
First and 10 for the Bulls. And oh, mama, what a hit as Randolph is popped, and he hangs on as Kemp with a hit of the night, maybe 6 yards on the pickup.
And Jerome Kemp, he is definitely a hitter out there in that secondary, strong safety. One of the best blitzers, and a guy who wants to give you a pop whenever he can. Good job here of timing up on the tackle.
Senior out of Wichita, Kansas. Preseason All Big 12 pick. Second down, and Grothy is brought down on the sack as KU. Como came up with that big fumble recovery, got him by the ankle, and it's a 3-yard loss.
And it gets around the outside here on the left side. Watch Watson, number 55. Can't get him there. The running back actually is trying to take a hold of Como. That's a mismatch, and everything breaks down there for the quarterback. Good job by Como continuing around the tailback to the quarterback.
And a hair-raising experience for him tonight. It's 3rd down and 8 for South Florida. Crowd roaring here at Memorial Stadium in Lawrence. Grothy trying to change the play. 7 on the play clock. Here they come. He unloads, and it is incomplete. Coming in his face was Eric Washington, blitzing from the weak side linebacker spot.
Well, you're seeing a young man out there operating his quarterback spot who's really thinking. He's trying to put the team in the best position, the best play. He's audibilizing, but the pressure just comes through. You see Kansas here. They're bringing more than they can block, and good job of getting back there to him. He's trying to throw the ball to receivers. He's got 2 receivers in the same route, so kind of little confusion there, but good job by Kansas not allowing South Florida to do anything on this change of possession.
Justin Tichy back to punt, stands inside his own 10. Jonathan Lamb to receive for Kansas. He's at his own 45. Clock at 2:49 to go. A low kick makes a South Florida bunt. Lamb nearly started to pick it up, then smartly got away from it. And it'll be Kansas football when we come back with the Jayhawks holding a 13-7 lead. We'll be back after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottle. 13-7 Kansas on the Dr. Pepper Big 12 game of the week as the South Florida Bulls down by 6. The KU possessions this half very productive. Had to punt it on the last time, but they've controlled things.
No points in the first half. Came out, got the field goal early on, then the touchdown, and then again a field goal. So they're up 6 points in this ball game. Last time 3 plays and out, they had to punt the football, and that's what South Florida would like to stop them again here to get the ball back and perhaps get their offense moving down the field. But right now the Kansas defense is playing well, and offensively Adam Barman has done a really nice job running this football team in the absence of Kerry Meyer.
Barman's first start of the year and only thrown 2 passes coming in, but the veteran has been a fine leader tonight. Hands off to John Cornish. Ben Moffitt makes the tackle, picks up 2, and Cornish now at 108 yards on the night, 25 carries.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at what South Florida's done this half also, because they had the touchdown early and then a couple of miscues there in the middle of the middle 2 series, and then obviously they had to punt there in the last series, 3 plays and out. Didn't get a lot of production there. They need to move the ball down the field and put points on the board here if they get this ball back. But Kansas with a good half so far, Bill, and I'm pretty impressed with both the combination of Adam Barman back there running the offense, and John Cornish has run the ball pretty well tonight. I think he's been a very productive player. He got 100 yards on 25 carries tonight, so they thought he'd be the workhorse back there running the football for this team, and he has done so this evening.
Yeah, and the coaches will tell you that, hey, he needed to answer it tonight, that there's a miscue or 2 here in the Toledo game, and Cornish is a guy that they're counting on as a senior with a basically fairly young football team, that he's got to come up big every night, and he has certainly answered tonight as Kansas leads at 13-7. And South Florida with 1 timeout remaining, KU with 2.
That's all clock management now here with a chance to stop this team one more time.
Kansas defense tonight holding South Florida to 280 yards, while KU's racked up 395. And KU, with Barman's work tonight, no touchdowns, no big deal. No interceptions, big deal.
That is a big deal. Good improvement there. 4 interceptions last week in that ball game for Kerry Meyer, and you see South Florida stringing out the run here pretty well.
They're in a situation where they're going to get the football back unless KU can come up with a big running play. Don't think they'll risk throwing it here. We'll have to see.
The last time out, so Kansas will have this opportunity to run the clock, run a play here, and the clock will continue to run.
Loss of 3.
Cooper Tyer.
It will be 3rd down and
awarding the defensive player of the game, and it goes to Paul Como. And why not?
Well, Paul's done a good job getting the sack back there, and then he's getting another sack, and forced a fumble there, and he recovered the fumble as well, and then another sack here late in his ball game. So Paul Como really doing a good job, just kind of leading the charge here up front for the Kansas defense, and I think that's kind of production they've been wanting from him.
Senior out of Dana Point, California, came via Saddleback College out in California, and then last year had 1 start, 13 tackles. And this defense taking over for some veterans that left, and they progressed very nicely through the non-conference season. And certainly a Kansas coach, Mark Mangino, and obviously the fans wish they had that Toledo game back, because they turned it over 5 times and didn't get any of their own, and felt they should have won that football game. But just the same, if they can run this one out here, they're going to go into Nebraska to open Big 12 play with a mark of 3-1, and certainly a team that has shown some great improvement. KU, 3rd down and 11. Remember, South Florida, as Gary mentioned, out of timeouts now. And Kansas,
I'd be really surprised if they throw this football.
On the 37.
They're going to do it.
Good surprise. No, he's going to keep it and take all that time off the clock they possibly can. And our Whataburger play. What a play it is. Cornish with the touchdown tonight.
And he just answered this, and then physical into the end zone. Just kind of they kind of banged it together there.
He just scored once, folks.
Scored one. Our guys in the truck, they liked it 3 or 4 different ways, so they kind of packed it together for us to look at. That was pretty fun.
Well, if it's going to be what a play, it's got to be big, right? So Cornish with 105 yards rushing, 26 carries, and now KU to punt it away.
Yeah.
And 1 man back, and that is Randolph, as Tucker stands on his own 21.
And Randolph is dangerous back there as a returner.
And whistles and flags thrown as South Florida coming after him.
delay of game going to be, I'm sure the 25-second clock expired.
Mark Mangino said, don't need to worry about pooch kicking this one. We'll go ahead and give you another 5 to work with. See him sort it out here.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And this is where the new rules and the clock situation, Gary, is where the game goes very quickly, doesn't it? Because of the change of possession, and when the ball is spotted, the clock starts.
Yeah, I think that most teams are getting pretty much used to this now, so that you would think that South Florida is going to have their offense ready to run on the field and get at the line of scrimmage. As soon as that ball is set for ready to play, the clock is going to start, so they're going to be ready to snap that football. At least you would think they'd be able to do that. And almost a punt block there.
Randolph at the 37-yard line. Goes back a couple. Now is tackled. Washington is there to make the stop. And they survive Randolph on the return. Just got a yard, 32-yard punt. And South Florida will have 1:06 to go to work with. And it's time for Dr. Pepper Game Break. Here's John Radigan.
To Husky Stadium we go. It is Seattle, Washington, and it is the Huskies against UCLA. UCLA unbeaten on the season and picked off there. Ben Olsen's pass taken by Daniel Howell, 34 yards to a touchdown. The Huskies win it, 29-19. First loss of the year for UCLA.
Thanks, John. As we come back here, Grothy's pass is incomplete, intended for Edwards. And want to remind our viewers along the FSN regional networks that some of you will be going to Final Score next, others to your regional programming. As we get ready to wrap this one up here, Kansas, 54 seconds to go to put away victory number 3 of the season and give the Bulls of South Florida their first loss. 2nd and 10 at the 39. Grothy for South Florida. And it is nearly picked off.
I think he got it. I think Mike Rivera got that interception.
Rivera, they rule it an interception, and Kansas. No, I thought it hit the ground, and now they come in and rule that that is incomplete. But again, that's kind of been Kansas' turnover story.
It really has. Close. A lot of close plays here. Take a look at Rivera in the middle of your screen. Number 40, the linebacker, misses it initially, and the ball, does he trap it against the ground? I'm not sure I can see it all on that angle, but good effort going down for it nonetheless. Let's take a look at this angle here. Maybe we'll see it. Does the ball hit the ground? Yeah, I think the tip of the ball does hit the ground. Good call by the officials. Crowd's looking at the Jumbotron here on the replay, and I don't know if they're seeing the same angle we are, but kind of grumbled about the call nonetheless. Well, this is under review. That's under review by the officials in the booth, it looks like.
So the first play that we have had all night to be under replay and review, and
now from what I saw, I don't think there's going to be indisputable evidence to turn this play over. So good effort there by Rivera, but still, as a linebacker, and I'm myself a former linebacker, you want to catch it the first time you get it. The ball's right in your mitts, you know.
And I mean, and this is the ball game. I mean, for
Sure.
South Florida, if this play,
well, it's going to allow them to continue the drive if possible here. 3rd down and still 3rd and 10, 47 seconds to go. Out of timeouts.
You know, South Florida's doing the right thing though here, Gary. They're not standing around and waiting. They're out of timeouts. Either way, I am sure that Jim Levitt has told Matt Grothy, all right, if obviously if we get the ball back, or
yeah,
the play maintains, we got to be ready to play football. And if they overturn it and rule it an interception, well, then it's a moot point. But his team is out on the field and ready to go and not having to regroup and scramble.
That's a good point, Bill. They're out there, not on the sideline, not trying to get a call. They're all out there ready to go. And the official called it. The play's going to stand as called on the field, so it's going to be incomplete pass and no interception on the play by Rivera. So South Florida's going to be 3rd and 10 here, and the ball's going to be set ready to play. And
now Kansas set, and we're ready to go. 47 seconds to go. 3rd and 10 from the South Florida 39. They're down 6. Grothy. And it is complete and out of bounds with the reception is Ian Randolph. He is knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Kansas. Stops the clock with 41 seconds to go.
What a nice throw that time by the quarterback here. He's in the inside is Randolph. He runs a little wheel route behind the other receiver who goes inside and catches him on the sideline. Good job of getting the route outside and throwing the football.
20 yards on the pickup. Remember, South Florida out of timeouts. First and 10 at the 41 of Kansas. They need a touchdown. Offsides, and we'll find out the call with the flags thrown. Well, South Florida has come from behind in each of their wins.
Prior to the snap, offside, 87 defense. His movement into the into the neutral zone caused the offense to false start. Replay third down.
So this is playing to form for the Bulls. They've been through this before.
Yeah, come from behind is nothing new to them this year.
Each of their 3 wins, they have been behind in the game. And now it is 1st and 5. And the ball at the 36-yard line. Randolph and Edwards split wide right.
It's like a zone defense here by Kansas, kind of a quarters defense.
Grothy in trouble, and he is brought down. And with no timeouts remaining, it is 4th down. They've got to come up with a play. He can't spike the ball. Larson made the sack. 26 seconds to go. I beg your pardon. 2nd down here. I said 4th, and they do spike it, and as a result, the clock stops with 21 seconds.
Well, here's a good job of the defense for Kansas. Just go ahead and rush in the quarterback. Everybody's around him. He has nowhere to go, and finally the sack on the play.
So 21 seconds to go. It will be 3rd down now.
John Larson getting in there on the action, the sophomore.
Jackson and Randolph go wide right. Green comes to the left, and Green to the right side. 3rd and 10. And here's Grothy running, trying to get out of bounds. He does with 13 seconds to go. And he scampers out at the 24-yard line.
Well, good heady play by the quarterback to get out of bounds. Nobody open downfield, so he uses his athletic ability to buy himself some more downs. Gets a fresh set here, got a 1st down on the play.
Yeah, they're going to mark it now at the 27-yard line, say where he stepped out. So it's 1st and 10, but that's not the big deal. There's 13 seconds to go, and South Florida with no timeouts on the 27 of Kansas. Grothy. Incomplete. Oh, my.
Wow, he had Ian Randolph there open at the 5-yard line, and he would have either caught the ball and gotten to the end zone or also stepped out. Let's take a look at the top of the screen here. He doesn't throw the ball here to get a little contact. And, well, this is Ian Randolph. Good job.
8 seconds to play. 2nd down. In at the 27. 2nd and 10.
Well, you got to throw to the end zone here in this situation. You don't have any more snaps. This is the play. You got to get in the end zone and make you a touchdown.
Incomplete with 3 seconds to go.
3 seconds remaining.
Torres Johnson and also Amari Jackson were both in the end zone.
Well, you see the receivers going down the field here trying to get open, and something you don't need to do as a receiver. You don't need to slow down. Your quarterback's expecting you to run to the end zone. You need to keep going, and when you get there, expect the football.
All right, should be the final play. 13-7, Kansas on top, South Florida with the ball. 3rd down, 3 seconds. Grothy picked off in the end zone by KU. No flags, and the Jayhawks win the football game. Justin Thornton with the INT, and the redshirt freshman from St. Joseph, Missouri seals it for the Jayhawks. Well, good
good job by Kansas coming out in the second half and doing what they need to do, and that's put points on the board. Got 3 successive drives where they put a couple of field goals up there and the touchdown. That's the margin of victory here. Just 6 points in this ball game. I think Mark Mangino's got to be very pleased with Adam Barman coming in here for Kerry Meyer, not able to play, and John Cornish ran the football well. And the KU defense, they answered when they needed to, Bill.
Yeah, they came up big. The offense scored on the first 3 possessions of the second half, and that took it deep into the fourth quarter. The defense answered when it was most needed. They got a couple of key turnovers tonight, which they had been desperately needing, and as a result, they hand South Florida the first loss of the year as KU goes to 3-1 and the Bulls go to 3-1 as well. So for Gary Reasons, Emily Jones, our entire crew, Bill Lansing, so long from Kansas. Next Saturday, it's Colorado, Missouri as part of a triple header on FSN.